fantasy football drafts. Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
After the game, join us on MLB Network Radio. We're talking baseball with you all season long on Sirius XM Channel 89 and the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Field, way back, way gone!
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time!
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The first matchup between division rivals with over 70 games under each of their belts. The Blue Jays and Red Sox play the first of 13 matchups this season in a showdown tonight at Rogers Center. Hi, everybody. Hope you're off to a good start to the week. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Tennessee shortstop Madison Shipman. Joe Ali is our host and producer, and Andrew Adams and Tom Young are our technical directors. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Niagara Falls and St. Catharines. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. The Blue Jays and the Red Sox enter this series coming off impressive series wins. Toronto defeated the AL Central leading Cleveland Guardians over the weekend despite dropping the opener. Boston took down the AL East leading New York Yankees, also winning the last two games to take the set. Who can keep the momentum going today? We'll find out next. Stay with us. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming on Sportsnet.ca, the Sportsnet app, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep. Because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned.
Hey, baseball fans. Thanks for being here for another Toronto Blue Jays game. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. You see that 25K up there? The push is on for 25,000 subscribers. The growth we've seen over this past 6 to 7 months has been absolutely insane, and all the credit goes to you. I just provide the platform. You guys are in the chat, blowing it up, making it happen. Thank you all for doing that, game in and game out. Let's keep it up, and if you're new, jump in. Hit that subscribe button, and let's get on the road to 25K, and let's get it done before the dog days of summer start in baseball. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you in the chat.
On Sirius XM.
Joseph, you got it! Wins the Indy 500!
The season rolls on Sunday evening at 6 Eastern at the Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey.
That was sweet.
Nice job, guys.
From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218, NBC Sports Audio Channel 85.
Alex Palou!
Thank you so much.
And on the all-new Sirius XM app. Blue Jays fans, after this game, get back to what's really important. Your fantasy football team. We're talking about it right now on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and the Sirius XM app.
2-0. Swing and a fly ball. Towering to right field. Brennan slowing on the track. It's out of here. Grand slam. Dalton Varsho and the Blue Jays lead 6-2.
Got a pitch that I can handle. Told myself I actually wanted a little bit lower than what I swung at, but got the job done.
Absolutely productive was Dalton Varsho yesterday. His grand slam helped the Blue Jays to a 7-6 win and a series win over the Cleveland Guardians. Now another tough set about to begin in Toronto as the Blue Jays face the Boston Red Sox for the first time. Thanks so much for joining us again. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Madison, as the Blue Jays start this series, they throw out one of their hotter starting pitchers this year on his 33rd birthday. Happy birthday, Yusei Kikuchi. What are you looking for from him?
Well, I think he's hoping for the birthday present of a win tonight against the Boston Red Sox. But for him, I feel like there's a little bit more pressure that's going to be on his shoulders. There's no question that because the offense has struggled this year, especially for the starting pitchers, they go out there almost with the weight of the world on their shoulders. But with the recent injury news to Jimmy Garcia being moved down to the IL, I feel like it puts even more pressure on the starting pitchers to have to go even longer into ball games. Not to mention the Red Sox just stole 9 bases last night against the Yankees, so he is going to have to be very aware of what those base runners are trying to do against him tonight.
A high-pressure series in general, too, because of how close these two teams are this year. Let's take a look at the Bet365 standings. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19-plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. New York Yankees open up as the division leaders today at 50-24. Baltimore in second, 47-24. Boston's in third in the AL East, 37-35. The Blue Jays in fourth at 35-36. Tampa Bay Rays in the basement at 34-38. Toronto on the field right now in the City Connect uniform. Here's the starting lineup for the team. Kikuchi will face Alex Coras. Boston Red Sox start with Jarren Duran, the left fielder, leading off. Right fielder Rob Refsnyder hits second. DH and Canadian Tyler O'Neill bats third. Cleanup hitter, third baseman Rafael Devers. Catching and hitting fifth, Connor Wong. In the number 6 spot, the second baseman Romy Gonzalez. Bobby Dahlbeck hits seventh and plays first. David Hamilton, the shortstop, batting eighth, and the center fielder Cedon Rafaela hits ninth. Nick Pivetta, another Canadian, will start today for the Red Sox, but Yusei Kikuchi starting for the Blue Jays, and John Schneider leading off with Davis Schneider, the second baseman. Catcher Danny Jansen hitting second. First baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits third, and the cleanup hitter is once again Dalton Varsho. DH and former Red Sox Justin Turner bats fifth. Right fielder George Springer hits sixth. Shortstop is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa batting seventh. Ernie Clement hits eighth, and the center fielder Kevin Kiermaier bats ninth. For Yusei Kikuchi, it's a pretty tough team. You mentioned the speed. It's a young team with a lot of interesting players for Boston.
And they've been swinging the bats really well, too, not to mention the series that they just had against the Yankees. But just in general, this is a team that's had to deal with several injuries throughout the season, but they seem to have different players stepping up in different parts of their order and almost redefining who they are as an offense as this season goes on. Maybe not necessarily relying entirely on the long ball, but finding a way to manufacture runs and really putting a lot of pressure on defenses to have to make plays when people get on base.
A lot of speed, a lot of contact with this Red Sox roster right now. Here's the leadoff hitter, Jarren Duran, batting from the left side. Yusei Kikuchi, the lefty, kicks and fires the first pitch. It's just a little bit high. 1-0. Time of the first pitch today, 7:07 Eastern. 27 degrees Celsius, 81 Fahrenheit, roof open. Beautiful sunny day in Toronto as the next pitch misses outside. 2-0. Duran is one of 3 left-handed hitters that the southpaw Kikuchi will face. Left fielder batting .278 this year. 2-0. Breaking ball. Called strike one.
Duran, one of the hottest hitters in this Red Sox lineup, too, riding a 7-game hit streak.
It's been a really impressive season for him. He's taken a big leap forward. 2-1 pitch, hooked foul, 2-2.
And I think it's very interesting how he's changed his stance in the box, too. He's standing a lot more straighter up and down, and his hands start very relaxed, almost a little bit lower. Has that high leg kick, too, and it just seems to have added a different dimension to his swing. He's actually able to go the opposite way a lot more this season than he did last year.
Duran taps the plate. Places his hands in front of his chest. 2-2. Foul tipped into the glove of Jansen, who holds onto it. Strike three. 96 up and in from Kikuchi. 1 out.
Really like that location. Just as we were talking about how Jarren Duran likes to go the opposite way, Kikuchi utilizing the velocity that he has on his pitches, 96 miles an hour up and inside. And Duran clearly late on that swing, fouls it straight off into the glove of Danny Jansen. And that's a great way to start the ball game for Yusei Kikuchi with that big strikeout.
Here's his first pitch to Rob Refsnyder. It's a fastball, called strike on the outside edge, 97 from the lefty. Four-seam fastball, curveball, changeup, and slider for Yusei Kikuchi. Pitching on his 33rd birthday, the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on him with the changeup, a pitch he learned this year, is getting more confident with as the year goes on. 0-2.
Especially when he's able to throw the fastball 96, 97. It's really difficult for these batters to pick up that changeup out of his hand.
Next pitch is another change. It misses a little bit outside. For Kikuchi, his 15th start of the year, 4-5 with a 3.26 earned run average. 1-2. Bounce to the plate. He's facing Rob Refsnyder, the right fielder for the Red Sox. Really good year for Refsnyder. Doesn't play every single day, but he's hitting .326, 11 doubles. Plays a ton against lefties.
He's always been very good against lefties. He batted .308 against lefties. Last year, just .159 against righties on the mound, but he's improved that number even this year.
2-2. High with a fastball, full count.
This year batting .325 against right-handed batters and still, of course, .327 against lefties coming into today.
He'll ask for time. Stretches, puts his right leg in the air as he leaned forward and now steps back into the box. Native of South Korea, but grew up in Southern California. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Slider at the bottom of the zone gets Refsnyder. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kikuchi to start the outing.
A lot of off-speed pitches in that at-bat after starting him off with a fastball, threw a ton of changeups in a row, and then finally gets the strikeout with that slider low in the zone. Kikuchi so far feels like he's got some pretty good command of all of his pitches just through the first two batters of this ballgame.
2 quick outs in the pitch to Tyler O'Neill, the DH. It's called strike one. We're in the first inning, which is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. 0-1 pitch. In there again at 97. And Kikuchi ahead of Burnaby, British Columbia's Tyler O'Neill, 0-2. O'Neill asks for time. The crowd getting loud. Good crowd here on a Monday. Fans still filing in. Kikuchi has struck out Duran and Refsnyder. No score, nobody on, top of the first. The 0-2. Down and away. Threw the changeup there, couldn't get O'Neill to chase.
Really liking that changeup to these right-handed batters, too. Throwing it quite often through this first inning. Staying on the outside part of the plate to the righties.
1-2 pitch, missed outside there. Bit of frustration from Kikuchi, was trying to throw that curveball backdoor, but it just stayed outside, 2-2.
Looked like it just slipped out of his hand a little bit too soon as he fell to his right on the mound. That pitch went to his left.
2-2. Swing and a fly ball deep left field. Forget about that one. Tyler O'Neill with a second deck shot to left field. Claps for the Canadian, who goes way out of here for a first inning solo home run.
With the way that Tyler O'Neill was able to time up that pitch, it almost felt like he was just selling out to the fact that Yusei Kikuchi was going to come back with a fastball inside after missing way outside with the curveball on the pitch before. He tries to dot it low and inside, but Tyler O'Neill was perfectly on time with that swing, driving it way out of here to left field to give the Red Sox the early lead.
13th of the season for O'Neill. Here's Rafael Devers, first pitch. Up and in, check swing, didn't go around, 1-0. It's been a breakout season for O'Neill, who had 130 homer season with the Cardinals, but is looking about as good this year as he did in that one career year. 1-0, swing and a miss. So now 1-0 Boston. 2 outs, bases empty, top of the first. O'Neill with the home run, tying Rafael Devers, the current batter, for the team lead in long balls with 13. Devers asked for time, granted by home plate umpire Emil Jimenez. Roberto Ortiz umpires first, crew chief Alfonso Marquez at second, Lance Barrett at third. Next pitch from Kikuchi's a fastball on the outside edge, 1-2. Devers has his Much of an open stance, as you'll see. His front foot touching the inside chalk line, back foot touches the inside of the chalk, and the front foot all the way on the outside part of the batter's box. He takes the next pitch outside, 2-2.
It's almost as if he's trying to take up as much room as possible in that left-handed batter's box.
Bat high above his left shoulder, 2-2 pitch. Borderline pitch called a ball. Kikuchi did miss the spot by a lot, but that slider looked pretty good. Instead, it's through 3-2.
Definitely looked like it clipped the top part of the zone. I think even John Schneider's trying to figure out where that pitch missed. It looked like it hit for a strike up and inside.
3-2. Swing and a foul off.
Kikuchi did have to deal with a little bit of what I'm going to call a fluid strike zone in his last start. His last start was against Milwaukee. Ended up going 5 innings in that ball game, but had a couple of pitches that should have been called strikes, or at least I thought they should have been called.
3-2 pitch, hit off the handle, a pop-up, third base side foul territory, long run Clement. That'll get down on the side warning track. They were shifted to the right side. Clement had to run way back left, so it's down. But yeah, that was the strike zone of Quinn Walcott. I mean, even for both sides, was all over the place, and Kikuchi got burned by it a couple times.
It was interesting because at times it was very, very tight, and other times there were pitches that were 2 balls outside of the zone that were being called for strikes.
3-2 again. Swing and a bouncing ball to the right. And this potential missed call on the slider has really hurt Kikuchi. Not only does he still have to deal with Devers, but he's thrown 3 pitches since that borderline pitch was called a ball, and now up to 24 pitches on the day. First inning, 2 outs, 1-0 Red Sox. The lefty kicks, delivers. Swing and a fly ball deep left center field, and that one gets out of here in a hurry. Back-to-back home runs for the Red Sox. Devers makes Kikuchi pay after the controversial call. It's 2-0 Boston.
And to your point, Ben, the more that a batter like Rafael Devers sees more and more pitches out of the hand of Kikuchi, the more advantage goes to Devers because he's seeing a little bit of everything. He's seeing the curveball, he's seeing the slider, seeing the changeup, and then, of course, he gets a fastball that's up and outside. It's on the edge of the strike zone away from Devers, but he has such good barrel control, and he's so strong with his barrel that he's able to drive that thing out the opposite direction. Just his second home run that he's hit against a left-handed pitcher this season.
Big bat flip for the Red Sox third baseman. Doesn't get much easier here as Kikuchi faces Connor Wong. Starts him off with a curveball for strike 1. Wong, a .333 hitter this season, 5 homers. Pair of solo shots after a pair of swinging strikeouts to start the game for Kikuchi. His 0-1. Low. Wong, the bearded catcher, bats from the right side. Stance is just a little bit open. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Way behind 96. It's 1-2.
I'd almost be tempted to go right back to that same spot, back-to-back pitches with as late as Connor Wong was on that swing, 95 miles an hour, maybe even gear up just a little bit more to try to blow it past him and get out of this first inning.
2-0 Red Sox, bases empty. 2 outs, top of the first. The 1-2. Swing and a liner down the right field line, off the sidewall and into the netting foul.
Kikuchi goes with that changeup there. 88 miles an hour, still fouls it off down that right field line. Seems a little bit late still. I'd like to go back to that fastball, see if you can get something past him here.
1-2. Swing and a fly ball left center. Playable for Dalton Varsho. He calls for it in the gap, makes the catch, and ends the inning. Red Sox with a hot start, though. Back-to-back homers by O'Neill and Devers make it 2-0 before the Blue Jays have come up to hit. We'll go to the bottom of the first. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck. the movers who care.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He's at the track, at the wall. He leaps, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman, Show Ali, our host and producer, Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our technical directors. 2-0 Red Sox, bottom of the first. Victoria, BC's Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Red Sox. Davis Schneider leads off for Toronto. Righty Pivetta kicks and releases. His first pitch of the day is strike one. For Nick Pivetta, his 10th start of the year, 3-4 with a 3.88 ERA. Kicks and deals to Schneider. Fastball again, strike two.
Pivetta, one of those players for the Red Sox that had to deal with some injuries earlier this season. Took him a little bit to get going and to get settled in after coming off of the IL earlier this year.
His 0-2. Swing and a pop-up, middle of the diamond, drifting towards short. Calling for it, David Hamilton. The rookie walks to his left, makes the catch. 1 out.
Started Schneider off in that at-bat with 2 straight fastballs and then goes with the breaking ball. Gets that fly ball over to shortstop, and that's what he's going to utilize is the curveball and that sweeper to try to get batters out in front all game long.
4-seamer sweeper curve with a little bit of cutter and slider as well for Pivetta. 1 out. Here's his pitch to Danny Jansen. High ball 1. You mentioned the injury for Pivetta. He starts as the day 2 starter for the Red Sox this year. Makes 2 really good starts, 1 earned run in 11 innings. Then hits the IL with a right elbow flexor strain. 1-0. Called strike. He hit the injured list on April 9th, missed just about a month. He's come back, and it's been up and down since. ERA just under 5 in the start since returning.
His first couple of starts back, too, he was using quite a few fastballs recently, going more to the breaking balls.
1-1 pitch high, 2-1.
But I feel like he's at his best, of course, when he's able to command the fastball, but when he's able to drop in that curveball low in the zone and then mix in the sweeper, that's where you really can get some batters off balance. But when he's just dotting the fastballs, it seemed like people started to get to that pitch because he's not going to just blow you away with his velocity.
About 93, 94 on the heater. Here's his 2-1. Jansen takes a pitch outside. That was the cutter, 2-2. Oh, pardon me, 3-1. For Danny Jansen, he's batting here with 1 out in the bottom of the first, hitting .250 this year, 5 homers. 3-1, swing and a towering fly ball, medium depth left field. Duran started back, but he'll walk forward and make a one-handed catch off to his left. 2 outs.
Like that swing by Danny Jansen, it seemed like he just missed that fastball. He's always looking to see if he can pull something to the left side of the field. Just got underneath that fastball inside, right about center cut, just exactly where Danny Jansen wants it. He just barely missed that one.
Pivetta gets away with a fastball there. Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with 2 outs. Right on right, the pitch. Fastball called just a hair outside borderline. Looks like it's going to be a tight zone today. 1-0.
Especially with the way that Connor Wong reacted back behind the plate, almost paused when he went to throw the ball back to the pitcher, expecting it to be called for a strike, and it was called a ball.
1-0. Swing and a foul off. Fastball brought a little more over the plate that Guerrero hits into the netting. Vlad walks outside the box for a moment. He leads the team among qualified hitters with a .284 average, 12 doubles, 7 home runs. With 2 down, the 1-1. Foul tipped into the glove. Big swing on a top of the zone fastball, 1-2.
So far, 3 fastballs in a row to Vladdy here on the outside part of the plate. Even looked like that last one was supposed to be inside. Connor Wong had set up on the inside part of the plate, and it broke back outside, but Vladdy took a big cut at it. Falling behind 1-2. Now he's got to deal with some of those breaking balls.
Pivetta slide steps and delivers. Vladdy rocks a ball up the middle and rolling into left center field, a base hit. Guerrero around first, but the speedy center fielder, Rafaela, cuts it off, throws it back in. That limits Vlad to a hard hit single. He's aboard with 2 down.
A couple of those hard hit singles off the bat of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. recently, but I'm really liking the swings that he's taking on fastballs, and it's no secret again that this offense has struggled against the fastball this season, but for him to be able to get his barrel out in front, exit velocity of that one, 110 miles per hour off of the bat, straight out to center field.
Here's the pitch to Dalton Varsho. Inside, ball 1. Speaking of getting around on fastballs, Dalton Varsho with a grand slam yesterday for the Blue Jays. Put them up 6-2, helped them win 7-6 eventually over the Guardians. Guerrero on first. 2 outs, 2-0 Boston, the 1-0 pitch. Taken at the knees, called for a ball. That's really tough for Nick Pivetta. That one's definitely a strike, but it's 2-0.
That one definitely looked like it hit the bottom part of the strike zone. But if you're Dalton Varsho and you're going to see a tight zone back there, you go ahead and be even more picky up at the plate and make Pivetta work to bring the ball even more into the center of the strike zone.
The 2-0. Swing and a bouncer foul. Patience has improved this year for Varsho. On base percentage above 300, was below at the end of last year.
Yeah, that swing right there, when a 2-0 count, he throws a cutter up and inside, just a marginal pitch. That's just not the pitch that I'd be going after in that hitter's count, especially with the tight zone that we just mentioned.
Now the 2-1. Swing and a foul off. Fastball at the top of the zone, a little more in the center. Varsho just missed it.
Thought it was interesting after that grand slam that he hit yesterday, too. He said he was actually looking for something a little bit more down in the zone, and it was at the very top and outside part of the strike zone that he was able to get his barrel to. That 94-mile-an-hour fastball he just swung at was at the top of the zone as well.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Sweeper got him to end the inning. The Blue Jays have a hit, but they leave Guerrero on first and trail 2-0. After 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The final major championship of 2024 is coming, and you can hear all the action on SiriusXM.
Up toward the hole, has a chance, and it goes! Rory McIlroy with an overhand fist bump!
Coverage of the 152nd Open Championship begins Monday, July 15th, with play-by-play beginning Thursday, July 18th on Open Radio.
He's holding the big one! Brian Harman is the champion golfer of the year!
Hear the 2024 Open Championship on Channel 92 when you're in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to our all-time fantasy baseball draft to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts. Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Nobody covers the National Football League like SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Mahomes fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
Stay updated with the latest news leading up to training camps.
We don't care about expectations. Talk doesn't win games.
Our panel of experts is getting you ready for the 2024 season.
The more I watch this guy, the more I like him.
There's a story for every team on SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
It's the second inning presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Welcome back to a beautiful night in downtown Toronto. Sun is setting behind left field. Shade across the diamond. It's 2-0 Red Sox, top of the second. Romy Gonzalez leading off. Whiffs on a high fastball by Yusei Kikuchi. 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. First of 3 Red Sox and Blue Jays. 2 home runs have given the Red Sox a 2-0 lead. 0-1 pitch. Hit foul by Gonzalez. Off the handle. Sent down into the seats off to the right. 0-2.
I feel like you're going to hear this a lot, but this is another one of the players for the Red Sox that has been dealing with some injuries this year. First game back since the end of May, I believe, for Gonzalez.
0-2 pitch, down and in, 1-2. Yeah, was dealing with a strained hamstring, and that was the second stint that he's had on the injured list this year. There might not be a team in Major League Baseball that's had more bad injury luck than Boston.
I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like it. I almost need 2 full pages just to list off the injuries.
1-2 pitch, hit foul, still 1-2.
But they've somehow managed to make it work. Floating right about 500, which seems to be a theme for a lot of the teams across Major League Baseball this year. But a couple of big wins this past weekend against New York.
1-2 pitch, downstairs, 2-2. And they have not sat there and sulked or used the injuries as an excuse. The Red Sox have been in and around the mix of the playoffs and in and around 500 the whole season. 37-35 entering today. 2-2 is flied out to right field and shallow. Sprinting in, Springer gets under it, makes the catch. Almost overran it. 1 out. If you look at their injured list right now, 3 starting pitchers out for the year. Garrett Whitlock, Chris Murphy, Lucas Giolito. Tristan Casas, a middle-of-the-order hitter for them, has been out since April. Trevor Story has been out since early April. These are all 60-day IL guys I've just mentioned. Liam Hendricks has been put on the 60-day IL as well.
And even going back to last season.
First pitch to Bobby Dahlbeck, low, 1-0.
With Trevor Story being injured last year, it was a big excitement for this team coming into this season was to get Trevor Story back in, what was it, the first weekend of the season. Then they find out that he's going to be out for the rest of the year.
1 out, the 1-0. Outside.
The one place where they would probably look to improve moving through the rest of the regular season is their defense. They have made quite a few errors defensively, but I think a lot of it has to do with how many changes that they've had to deal with because of the injuries and people coming in and out.
2-0 pitch. Misses high. 3 balls, no strikes. Very young team in general, too. In part due to injuries, in part they were going to be young anyway. Dahlbeck faces a 3-0 and takes it on the inside edge for strike 1. On the 15-day injured list, they have Chris Martin and Brian Mata, a pair of relievers. Mata's been on that injured list, though, since the beginning of the season. And then you have Wilyer Abreu and Vaughn Grissom on the injured list as well, as Kikuchi delivers another strike to fill up the count.
Looks like Chris Martin could be making his way back to the Red Sox soon. We saw Tristan Casas with the microphone in the dugout last night against New York, and I think if he had that microphone, he'd probably still be talking. It was nonstop entertainment.
3-2 pitch. Dahlbeck cuts and misses. Strike 3. Kikuchi battles back from down 3-0 to strike out the Red Sox first baseman. 2 down.
It's a good couple of pitches in a row, too, by Kikuchi, and utilizing that strike zone. There was one pitch in there that Bobby Dahlbeck thought he had ball 4, actually started to walk out of the batter's box, but the call goes Kikuchi's way and gets him swinging on that slider for strike 3.
So with 2 outs, here's David Hamilton, rookie shortstop, takes strike 1 on a slider. 2-0 Sox. 2 outs, bases empty, top of the second inning. Infield is shifting to the pull side for the left-handed hitter, but Ernie Clement, the third baseman, in to watch the bunt. 0-1. Called a ball. Pretty borderline pitch at the knees. That'll make it 1 ball, 1 strike. Impressive rookie season for Hamilton, who is a rookie but is not that young. He's hitting .288 this year, 4 homers. Next pitch, hit on the ground, foul down the first baseline, 1-2.
I think the most impressive stat to me might be the 4 stolen bases he had last night against the Yankees. I know we keep talking about it, but it was like every time somebody got on base, they were immediately taken off to second, taken off to third. Just constant chaos they were creating on the base paths.
Red Sox stole a team record 9 bases yesterday. And with that jump to first in the American League in stolen bases, 1-2, is hit down the left field line and into the seats. And needless to say, the Boston Red Sox have been around a long time. So to set a team record in anything, even though they're not really known as a running team throughout their history, is pretty impressive.
Well, and even John Schneider was very quick to make sure that he let everybody know that he was very much aware of the fact that Boston had stolen 9 bases against the Red Sox last night, and just said that their defense and Kikuchi and Danny Jansen back behind the plate were just going to have to be aware of their presence and aware that they're going to try to take an extra base.
1-2, cut on and miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kikuchi to end a 1-2-3 top of the second. Blue Jays try and get on the board next. It's 2-0 Red Sox, middle of 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop-on-the-bandwagon fan. We're the in-it-for-the-long-haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menintruck, 2menintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
For this life I cannot change. Hit the hills, deep off in the main.
This is George Springer, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Justin Turner leads off for the Blue Jays. Bottom of the second inning in Toronto, 2-0 Red Sox over Blue Jays. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Nick Pivetta on the mound. The starter kicks and releases. First pitch is high, 1-0. Turner hitting .225 on the year, 12 doubles, 4 homers. First season with Toronto after spending last season with the Boston Red Sox. 1-0. Low 2-0.
I think Blue Jays fans everywhere are very much relieved to see Justin Turner on their team during this series than with the Red Sox, because he was a nightmare for the Blue Jays last year, batting .353 in 12 games against the Jays.
2-0 pitch hit foul, 2-1. Overall, he had a very impressive year for Boston. Set a career high in hits with 154 and RBIs with 96. Yeah, he did a lot of damage against the Blue Jays as a Red Sox. 2-1. Reluctant swing. He fouls it off as he went about 60% of the way. It's 2-2. If you go to June 30th and July 1st, he homered on back-to-back days for the Red Sox, and as part of their 3-game sweep in the Canada Day Series. 2-2. Outside, 3-2, also low.
When you were talking about it before this game started, too, just how interesting the series were between these two teams last year. The first several games, first couple of series going Boston's way, complete sweeps, and then flipping in the opposite direction. Blue Jays ending up winning the last couple of games.
3-2 pitch, fouled off. Yeah, I asked John Schneider about that before the game, and he said it was crazy to see 4 sweeps in a row. To quote, it was just kind of weird. Matched up different ways against them at different times, and he said Davis Schneider to the rescue at Fenway. When Schneider was called up, they started the first of back-to-back 3-game sweeps against the Red Sox. 3-2 again is outside, ball 4, a leadoff walk for Turner.
Nick Pivetta showing a little bit of frustration after not getting that call on the outside part of the plate, and Connor Wong a couple of times has held his glove in the exact same spot that he caught it, just to emphasize the fact that he thinks some of these pitches are pretty close. I thought that cutter was a little bit outside. I definitely thought it was a ball.
Yeah, that one was not Emil Jimenez's worst call of the day so far. First pitch to George Springer is chopped to third, and it's foul off the thigh of Devers, charging in 0-1.
That first pitch to Springer almost looked like the exact same pitch that Justin Turner had just taken for ball 4. But George Springer goes after it. Maybe that one was a bit closer to the plate, but not by much. Very much a marginal pitch to go after in an 0-0 count.
Right after a walk as well, that put Justin Turner on first. Nobody out. 2-0 Red Sox, bottom 2. Right on right, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Looked like a late decision to go around there on the sweeper. 0-2. Strike throwing a big key for Pivetta, said Alex Cora before the game. If he throws strikes, he said he'll probably be fine. 0-2. Check swing, pitch outside.
I definitely think you help him out as a batter, too, when you start to swing at some of those pitches that might be a ball off of the plate early in the count or in hitter leverage counts. When you give the pitcher another pitch to get back into the at-bat, all of a sudden the advantage swings their way.
Pavetta's 1-2. Swing and a broken bat looper to right center. Rafaela charging. That's down for a base hit. Turner turning around second. Here comes the throw to third. It's cut off. Justin Turner surprising everyone. Gets into third. A single for Springer. An awkward play all around, but the Blue Jays have runners on the corners.
You'll take that play all day, every day. George Springer got a fastball up and inside and so jammed up on it that the barrel of his bat flies all the way out to the shortstop position. But I love the base running from Justin Turner here. He gets a great read off of first base. He is tracking it into center field, and as soon as he sees it drop, no hesitation as he rounds second and dives safely head first into third base.
That was not a for sure thing. The ball was not hit very deep, but Turner testing Rafaela's former teammate.
And I think, too, he was taking advantage of the turf out in center field and just how high that baseball was going to bounce when it did finally hit the ground.
So first and third, no outs. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa up. Nick Pivetta slide steps and misses outside, 1-0. Kiner-Falefa hitting .269 on the season, 27 RBIs. Springer leads off first. Turner off third in foul territory. Next pitch, down and away, 2-0.
Couple of good takes there by IKF. Watching those pitches, just missing outside. The first one was a cutter. That next one going with another cutter low and away.
Lots of room on the right side of the infield. 2-0 pitch. High and outside, ball 3. Carlos Fablis delivering signs from third, goes over to talk to Turner. He's also over from the Red Sox last year. Fablis, the longtime third base coach for Boston. Pivetta, the Red Sox starter, slide steps, delivers, and IKF powers a ball right center. Going back, Rafaela curling, makes a catch near his ankle. Turner will tag from third and come in to score on the sacrifice fly. IKF swung at a high pitch on 3-0, but he knocks in the Blue Jays' first run. 2-1 Red Sox.
There was a part of me that was thinking he was going to be taking in this 3-0 count, but he is so aggressive and he just straight up hacks at this 93-mile-an-hour fastball that had to have been 2 or 3 balls up above the strike zone. That's the way you get your barrel on top of the baseball, and he drove it far enough out into center field to easily score Turner from third base.
So the deficit cut in half. It's 2-1. Here's Ernie Clement. 1 out, runner on first. First pitch is yanked down the left field line. A foul ball. That was really close to extra bases for Ernie Clement. He jumped on the first pitch from Pivetta, but it did just land foul by an inch or two.
Seemed like Ernie was taking note of a lot of the first pitch cutters that Pivetta's been throwing outside to the right-handed batters, and he just gets barrel out in front around that pitch. He likes to do that, likes to pull it to the left side. Just a hair out in front of that one.
Ernie jumped on the first pitch he saw in yesterday's game in the second, hit a 2-run homer to open the scoring. 0-1. Springer takes off, and the pitch is fouled back. been a really impressive last couple of days for Clement. A single and a 2-run shot yesterday. And if you go to his last start before that, which came on the 14th, he had a pair of doubles in the opener against Cleveland in the only 2 at-bats he had.
I'd imagine that the ball probably looks about the size of a beach ball coming into Ernie Clement right now, which is exactly where every single hitter in this lineup wants to be. They want to be in that spot where they feel like they can hit everything out of the pitcher's hand.
Pivetta ahead 0-2, though. Slide step and pitch is hit to left field, sinking and down. Fielded on a hop by Jarren Duran. Springer up to second. Another hit for Ernie Clement. First and second, still 1 out.
Another good swing adjustment by Ernie Clement here. The pitch before, when George Springer was in motion, it almost felt like he was trying to inside out the sweeper to hit it behind George Springer running from first to second base. But he gets another sweeper. This one's even further down in the zone and outside. Gets barrel around it, and he's able to drop it out into left field for another base hit and to continue his hot streak that he's been on.
The whole Red Sox infield on the mound right now, meeting with Pivetta, and it's time to let you know that you asked for more 50-50 winners, and J-Scare has delivered. With their new Split the Pot raffle, the grand prize is expected to hit the multi-million-dollar mark and will be evenly split among 10 different winners. Get tickets at BlueJays.com/5050 from Ontario or Nova Scotia. 2 hits in the inning for the Blue Jays, a walk and a run scored. 2-1 Red Sox, 1 out, first and second. Bottom of the second, here's Kevin Kiermaier. Connor Wong, the Red Sox catcher, steps out in front of the plate to the top of the dirt circle. And now he'll walk back behind the plate again. Kiermaier bats from the left side. Springer on second, Clement on first. Third baseman Devers in on the edge of the turf. Pivetta's pitch. Low ball 1. Kiermaier batting .195 this season. 4 doubles, a pair of triples, and a pair of homers. A buzz around the ballpark right now. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a chopper foul to the left. 1-1.
An extremely hesitant swing by Kiermaier. They're almost as if he was going to go ahead and take that pitch, and at the last minute decided to put it in play. Practically hit this one out of the glove of Connor Wong. He was so late on it.
It's a curveball that probably goes for a called strike if he doesn't swing. With 1 out, a 1-1 count. Pivetta looks at second, kicks, fires home. Swing and a foul off to the left. I want a 95-mile-per-hour fastball to move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now, if you're Kiermaier, you just have to figure out any way to have a productive at-bat here. Just advance both of those runners over into scoring position any way possible.
Davis Schneider's on deck. The 1-2. Swing and a foul off to the right. Way out in front of a sweeper in on the hands. That was so far inside. He really could not keep that fair if he wanted to.
And I like that he didn't even try to keep it fair. If you're going to go ahead and swing at that pitch, that's clearly a ball. Go ahead and foul it off way down that right field line. Get rid of it so that you can see another pitch.
The 1-2 again. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. "23 pitches this inning for Nick Pivetta, 40 on the day. 1 out, first and second. 2-1 Red Sox. Bottom of the second, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Chase the sweeper upstairs. Kiermaier goes down for the second out.
Not what the Blue Jays needed in that situation with a runner in scoring position. Needed to figure out a way to advance them over to second and third base, but he chases after that sweeper that's way up and outside of the strike zone. Definitely felt like Kiermaier was in swing mode with those past couple of swings, and just gets underneath that pitch there, and now 2 away.
Connor Wong out in front of the plate again, relaying, I believe, via the pitch comm to some of the defenders and the pitcher what they could do in a double steal situation. A couple of the infield defenders get pitch comms as well as the pitcher. Here's Davis Schneider. Springer on second, Clement on first. 1 run in this inning, the pitch. Swing and a foul off the catcher Wong. 0-1. Schneider hitless yesterday, but did have a pair of walks and scored a run in the win over Cleveland. His 33 RBIs led the Blue Jays until Dalton Varsho's grand slam yesterday. Springer taken off on the 0-1. Pitch is high. They'll throw to second, and they got Ernie Clement. Looked like Springer took off on his own, and Clement was looking at him and leaving a bit later, and Connor Wong throws him out to end the inning. The Blue Jays get one on 2 hits. They leave one on. It's 2-1 Red Sox after 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
When Blue Jays starter Kevin Gausman is on the mound, you hear a lot of pops at Rogers Center. The pop of the ball hitting the catcher's mitt. The pop of the crowd as they cheer on another Gausman strikeout. But most importantly for Goss, the pop of his bubble gum.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the splitter again. One of the best at his craft.
Gausman loves his gum. So be one of the first 15,000 fans on Wednesday, July 3rd and get your Kevin Gausman bubblegum bobblehead. Get your tickets at BlueJays.com.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
The 0-2 pitch. Fastball. Strike 3 looking.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 3rd inning in Toronto. A close one here to start this 3-game series. 2-1 is the score at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Cedar Rafaela leading off for the Red Sox. Yusei Kikuchi's pitch is a fastball for strike 1. Rafaela's a right-handed hitting shortstop. Knees bent heavily, wide open stance, bat above his head. The 0-1. Down and away. Rafaela came up late last year for his debut and has now turned into a key part of this Red Sox team, playing center field. 1-1. Swing and a long fly ball left field, and Varsho watches it sail. 3rd solo home run for the Red Sox. That one popping out of the second deck and back into the first level. It's 3-1 Boston as they strike back.
You just kind of got the feeling in that at bat with the way that Rafaela took that first 4-seam fastball pretty much straight down the middle for a strike, that he was possibly sitting on one of those breaking balls looking for a curveball, and he got one low and inside, and he hammers that thing out to left field. No doubt about it. Really, all 3 home runs that we've seen hit off of Kikuchi today have been no-doubters off the bat. And another bat flip.
Well-earned 420 feet to left field. Here's Jarren Duran, top of the order. First pitch is hit to left field. Playable for Varsho. Barely has to move. He makes the catch. 1 out. It was 420 for Rafaela. 413 for Tyler O'Neill on the first home run. The second home run by Devers, 424 feet. He hit that ball 111, did Devers. I mean, Rafaela's 108 off the bat. They have not been close.
I can tell you one thing. If they're going to hit home runs at this clip, their stolen base rate's going to be down from last night against the Yankees.
Yeah, they haven't had a base runner yet.
Nobody's on base.
First pitch to Rob Refsnyder is sliced down the right field line near the corner into the seats. 0-1. Refsnyder not necessarily one for power. 2 home runs on the season. But gets on base a ton, walks at a pretty high clip, and is hitting in the 320s. 0-1. Bounce to the plate. 3rd year with the Red Sox for Refsnyder. Moved around a lot in his major league career. Originally a 5th rounder of the Yankees. Next pitch, swing and a miss. 1-2.
Another changeup well located outside to Rob Refsnyder. Good movement on that pitch, and he was way out in front. Kind of tells me that he thought that one was going to be a fastball out of the hand. Good deception on that pitch.
1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Not sure he was looking for that spot. The changeup top middle of the zone, but it freezes Refsnyder for Kikuchi's 5th strikeout.
Yeah, I guarantee he thought that pitch was going to go back in the same spot that he had just swung and missed the pitch before, low and away with the changeup, but that one up and pretty much right down the middle and freezes Refsnyder.
So with 2 outs, here's Canadian Tyler O'Neill. Homered in the first inning to start the scoring. He takes a curveball for strike 1. We're in the 3rd inning, which is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Niagara Falls and St. Catharines. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection. 0-1 pitch down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. O'Neill, born in Burnaby, BC, went to high school in Maple Ridge, British Columbia. 1-1. Swing and another deep fly ball left center. Varsho going back at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Home runs in both of his at-bats so far. Tyler O'Neill is putting on a clinic. It's 4-1 Red Sox.
And O'Neill has hit home runs now on 2 different pitches. Home run back in the first inning was on a fastball inside. This one off of a changeup that he's able to drill. This changeup was outside, but because he's able to get his barrel out in front of him and around that pitch, he actually drives that thing out to left center field. Another 400-foot shot for Tyler O'Neill.
All 4 homers have been 400 plus. Home runs have not really been an issue for Kikuchi this year. Had allowed 7 in 14 starts coming into this game. He's allowed 4 today. At least all solo shots, but it's 4-1 Red Sox. 2 down, top of the 3rd. Here's Rafael Devers. Went back-to-back with O'Neill in the first inning. His home run the deepest of the day for Boston. First pitch hit on the ground to second. Picked up by Schneider. Spins, sidearms to first, and ends the inning. Another frame with 2 solo shots for Boston. They extend their lead to 4-1, middle of the 3rd. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball. Brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power and speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on SiriusXM.
Joseph Newgarden wins the Indy 500.
The season rolls on Sunday evening at 6 Eastern at the Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey.
That was sweet.
Nice job, guys.
From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218, NBC Sports Audio Channel 85.
Alex Palou. Thank you so much.
And on the all-new SiriusXM app. Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Hey everyone, it's Brian Geltzeiler from SiriusXM NBA Radio. The NBA draft begins on June 26th, and we're your home for all the action. Hear non-stop coverage on all our shows.
Mark it down. That guy is going to be a star in this league.
Exclusive interviews.
We are now joined by Bronny James.
I just found happiness in what I'm doing right now, and I feel like that's where I want myself to be at.
And every pick on the big night.
With the first pick.
Your home for the 2024 draft is NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the all-new SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Timbermart always has someone on deck to help you with any home improvement projects. Before you begin renovating, visit the team at Timbermart. They've got the know-how to make sure you come out swinging on your next project. Timbermart, Canada's building center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Bottom of the 3rd starts with strike 1, Nick Pivetta to Davis Schneider. 4-1 Red Sox. A pair of solo homers in the 3rd inning have extended the Boston lead. Pivetta, the Canadian righty, rocks, delivers. Swinging a line drive Picked up on one bounce by the shortstop Hamilton. Long overhand throw to first in time to get Schneider. 1 out.
Ben, I keep thinking back to that bottom of the second inning where it just felt like there was more opportunities for the Blue Jays to come away with more than just one run. Now you're going to take the one run, but when you're able to get a couple of base runners on with nobody away, Justin Turner starts it off with a walk, George Springer follows it up with a base hit. You hope you can come away with 2, possibly even 3 runs in that inning, especially with the deficit that they found themselves in early.
First pitch to Danny Jansen, called strike 1. Blue Jays ended up getting 1. It was the Isaiah Kiner-Falefa sac fly. They did get another hit from Ernie Clement to make it first and second 1 out, but a strikeout by Kiermaier, and then Clement caught stealing on the double steal. 0-1. Swing and a pop-up, foul territory, third base side, and on top of the Blue Jays dugout off the hands of a fan. Scoop back up to make it 0-2 on that foul ball.
That strikeout by Kiermaier just felt like it was the big at-bat in that inning. If he was able to even just move those runners over, possibly it could have been a different outcome for the Blue Jays in the second. But that strikeout just leaves everybody stranded.
0-2 pitch, down and away.
And then, of course, the double steal. I like the read by George Springer, but to your point, it almost felt like Ernie Clement was waiting to read George Springer leaving and then decided too late to take off to second base. Smart play by the defense to throw down to 2 instead of 3.
1-2 pitch hit foul first base side into the seats. For Clement, it was his first time being caught stealing this year in 4 attempts.
And he was off first base by a substantial margin, too, because Bobby Dahlbeck was practically playing in the standard second base position, playing to the pull side.
Dahlbeck doing that again against the right-handed hitter, Danny Jansen. 1-2 is popped up behind the plate, foul. And so he's gone over the third base dugout, the first base dugout, and now into the seats straight behind home plate. That one took a high bounce off the concrete and lands into the seats again. 4-1 Red Sox, 1 out, bottom of the third. Bases are empty, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Victoria, BC's Nick Pivetta on the mound. His 1-2. Cue shot to the right, foul. Couple Canadians have been the focus today for the Red Sox. Pivetta on the mound and a 2-homer day from Tyler O'Neill. Also have now Canadian Baseball Hall of Famer Russell Martin in the building today. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Jansen tried to hold up but went around on a sweeper. He's the second out of the inning.
Tell Jansen was gearing up for those fastballs and got that sweeper the pitch before off the very end of his bat and then tried to check on that one. Just went a little bit too far after missing a couple of those fastballs where I guarantee he wishes he could get some of those pitches back, missing the fastballs.
Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who didn't miss a fastball his first time up, 1 for 1 with his single. He'll take a front hip breaking ball for strike 1. Flies average up to 287 after the base hit. Right on right, the pitch. Swing and a foul ball down the right field line into the stands, 0-2. 9 straight games for Guerrero without an RBI. It's a career high, but it felt a little unlucky yesterday. Had 2 hits, including 1 off the wall with runners in scoring position, and somehow still didn't knock a guy in. 0-2. Swinging a chopper to the left, foul.
Quite possibly the longest single that anybody has ever recorded in this stadium, hitting it off the wall out 400 feet in center field.
There was runners on first and second at the time, and Horwitz on second thought it might be caught. It was hit so high that he was tagging, couldn't score. Next pitch, low, 1-2.
I also think it was a little bit of a tough call for Horwitz, too, and he decided once he hesitated to just go ahead and stay back and advanced finally when that ball hit off of the wall. And I think looking back at that, he might take off a little bit sooner as soon as Freeman had turned his back on that fly ball.
1-2 pitch is shot out to right field, but on a line right at Rob Refsnyder. He reels it in and ends the inning. Blue Jays down 1-2-3, trail 4-1 after 3 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power.
That is bold.
and speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on SiriusXM.
Joseph Newgarden wins the Indy 500.
The season rolls on Sunday evening at 6 Eastern at the Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey.
That was sweet.
Nice job, guys. From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218, NBC Sports Audio Channel 85.
Alex Palou. Thank you so much.
And on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike three and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
The Titans of Europe are gathered once again for the Euros.
Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal.
Soccer's best, assembled to represent their nation.
Oh my word, from Kylian Mbappe. And it's another magnificent goal for France.
Trying to reach the pinnacle of European soccer.
Italy are champions of Europe.
Hear the top matches and expert analysis from Euro 2024 all month long on Fox Sports 83 and SiriusXM FC 157. Or listen anytime on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the 2024 NBA Draft begins on June 26th, and NBA Radio is your home for all the action. Hear every pick on NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Radio Network.
The fourth inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19-plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 4-1 Red Sox. Yusei Kikuchi on the mound. He kicks, fires, and the first pitch is inside to Connor Wong. 1-0. Hope you're having a good Monday. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Roof open at Rogers Center. Still a blue sky here at 8 Eastern. 1-0. Outside. For Yusei Kikuchi, he has 5 strikeouts. He's allowed 4 hits in 3 innings. All 4 hits have been solo home runs. 2-0. Called strike.
Goes with a curveball there to get a strike after missing the first 2 pitches, both of them fastballs outside on both sides of the plate. First one inside, second one away. Gets that curveball right on the outer edge.
Next pitch is hit on the line left field, down for a base hit. First non-home run hit for the Red Sox as Wong leads off the fourth with a single.
Similar to my thoughts with Connor Wong's last at-bat, surprised that Kikuchi doesn't go back to the fastball. He got that strike called to bring it to a 2-1 count on the curveball, and he decides to come back with back-to-back curveballs, and it just feels like Connor Wong is gearing up for some of those breaking balls, those off-speed pitches, and he just wasn't on time for the fastballs, but makes a mistake there and base hit out to left field.
It really hasn't been the fastballs that have hurt Kikuchi much today as he starts off Gonzalez with a fastball for strike one. Devers did homer on the fastball and O'Neill did in the first, but the home runs in the third inning both came off non-fastballs.
And I think you can tell a lot, too, by the takes and even some of the foul balls that they're taking on these pitches.
0-1.
Whether or not they're looking for the fastballs or if they're looking for something slower. Oftentimes for a right-handed batter against Kikuchi, if they're fouling him off late off of the hands to the right side, that just tells you that they're not looking for that pitch. So I'd keep coming in with that 95, 96 mile an hour heater.
1-1. Swing and a loop. Gonzalez at third.
Jansen always puts on a clinic on blocking balls back behind the plate. So good at moving his feet and making sure that he's able to get his chest in front of those bouncing balls. This one, he actually just catches straight up in the glove as he moves over to his left to keep that one in front.
Leads Major League Baseball with 10 blocks above average. 1-2 pitch is hit foul into the seats deep down the right field line.
Dalbec was taken off on that pitch as well. He's getting his steps in this at-bat, taking off on all these foul balls.
It's the second time he's stolen, and there's been a foul ball by Rafaela. Dalbec leading off first, held on by Guerrero. 2 peeks from Kikuchi. A third look in the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pulled the string with a changeup. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kikuchi, up to 7 on the night. 2 outs.
Another well-located changeup. This one outside to Cedon Rafaela, just right on the outside part of the plate. Gets him swinging, in a couple of back-to-back big strikeouts for Kikuchi here, trying to get out of this inning, only giving up 1 run.
3 hits in the inning, and like you said, a run. First and third for the Red Sox. 5-1, top of the 4th. Boston leading. And with 2 outs, Jarren Duran is up. Left-handed hitter and left fielder. Kikuchi steps and throws to first. Moving off third base, extending his lead was Gonzalez. Guerrero pumped a fake throw over to third and sent it back to Kikuchi. Duran is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout. Batting in the 270s. This is 4th season. First pitch. Called strike 1. Duran, a 7th rounder by the Red Sox in 2018, has taken a pretty big step forward this year. Leading Major League Baseball in triples. The 0-1 pitch is hit high and deep left field. Moving into the corner is Varsho, leaps in foul territory, but can't make the play. He banged into that tall side wall, and the ball bounced just above his glove off of it. He'll toss that ball into the seats. It's 0-2.
An incredible effort by Dalton Varsho, having to run a long way back into the corner. He leaps up the wall to try to snag this one before it hits the wall. Such a great defender, no matter if he's in left field or in center field. He can just cover so much ground, and he made that play a lot closer than I thought it was going to be off the bat.
Yeah, and he just couldn't reach it. It was higher than it would have been possible for him to make the play.
He did everything he possibly could to try to make a play on that ball.
So now the next pitch will come to another left fielder, center fielder in Duran, whose offensive numbers have gone up as he moved to more full-time left with Rafaela in there. Step and throw to first. They have Dalbec picked off. Gonzalez breaks from third, and now Guerrero will throw it over to third to Clement. Throw to the plate to Jansen. Chasing the runner, Gonzalez. Back to Clement. He tags him, and that's the inning. 1-3-5-2-5. They pick off Gonzalez after catching Dalbec breaking early. But the Red Sox add a run on 3 hits. 5-1, the Boston lead, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop-on-the-bandwagon fan. We're the in-it-for-the-long-haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Vladdy with a huge stretch for the double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Home half of the fourth inning, 5-1 Red Sox over Blue Jays. Nick Pivetta on the mound, Dalton Varsho at the plate. Right on left, here's the first pitch at the bottom of the fourth. Swing and a fly ball, center field, hooking to right center. Rafaela calls off the right fielder, Ref Snyder, and reels it in, 1 out.
Varsho just barely missing on that fastball away, a similar location to the grand slam that he hit in yesterday's ball game. Fastball up and outside, he just got a bit underneath that pitch for a fly ball out to center field.
So 1 out, here's Justin Turner, who scored the one Blue Jays run today. Walked to lead off the second, came in on the IKF sac fly. Former teammate and misses upstairs, 1-0. Turner spending last season with Boston after a long career with the Dodgers, also a former Met and Oriole. Pivetta steps off, and now the catcher's going to have to go out for a visit, or else there's going to be a pitch clock violation. Now Turner is talking to Emil Jimenez. Jimenez alerted, it looked like, Connor Wong that they had to go out there, and I think Turner's a little bit upset that they essentially handed him some help there. Now John Schneider's talking to Jimenez, and I'm speculating, but I think they're saying, hey, this is the big leagues. You don't have to tell guys how to deal with the clock rules. That's up to them.
I agree. They should just be looking at it the entire time. I don't think the umpire should be telling them that they're about to get a pitch clock violation. And John Schneider came running out in a hurry out of the dugout to come out, and he's continuing to have a conversation with the umpires now, and Justin Turner is right there next to him.
Because when there are guys on base and you're on the rubber, you can step off and in essence reset the clock. Now you can only do that twice, but there is no such thing as really stepping off with no one on base. And Jimenez clearly went to the side of the plate, pointed out to the mound while talking to the catcher, and Turner immediately gesturing was visibly upset with Jimenez doing that.
Yeah, he walked to the right side of Connor Wong and almost looked like it asked him if he was going to go ahead and go out to the mound, and he did. He ran out there, and immediately Justin Turner turns to him and has some words about it, because clearly he heard that entire conversation as Connor Wong ended up going out there and calling timeout and running out to the mound.
Now, Jimenez did just charge them with a mound visit, but
you'd prefer I was going to say you'd prefer the ball if you're Justin Turner.
A ball in the next pitch anyway to make it 2-0. So Turner, a former Red Sox, coming over to the Blue Jays this year. Upon signing with Toronto, asked about his experience in Boston, and he said he enjoyed every minute of it. Said it was a blast. Special to don that uniform to play in Fenway. Takes the 2-0 inside. 3-0, and he said the city was great as well, except that his wife and him, he loved every minute of it, and, quote, do not have a bad thing to say about the city of Boston. 3-0. Called strike. Turner was taken all the way. He looks that fastball into the glove of Wong. Three-one pitch. Swing and a fly ball down the left field line. Hook into the corner. Fair ball. One hopping to the wall. Turner tearing around first. He's going for second. Throw bounces in. A head first slide. He's safe. Turning up that Dark City Connect uniform, Justin Turner with a 1-out double.
It was a really nice swing by Justin Turner. He got 5 straight fastballs in that at-bat. The first 3 for balls, 1 for a called strike, and then he gets one on the inside part of the plate, and he just turns on it. Again, the key to getting those fastballs inside is getting your barrel out in front of you to make sure you're not getting jammed up. And straight out of the box, he had his head looking towards left field and decided that he was going to take a chance and dive into second base. And he's able to get there easily.
First pitch to George Springer, low ball 1. For Turner, his third extra base hit of the month. He had 2 all of last month. Leading off second, 1 out. 5-1 Red Sox. The 1-0 to Springer is fouled back. Springer down to a knee. Center cut fastball, but perhaps looking for something else. He was late on it. Pivetta in the set. Looks at Turner. Delivers to Springer, who swings and pops it up. First base side foul. Catcher Wong gets rid of his mask. Makes the catch right in front of the netting. 2 down. Just had enough room to make that play.
And just as the momentum had swung over to the Blue Jays side, it feels like it just swings straight back onto the Red Sox side with that fly ball to Connor Wong. This is a really difficult catch for any catcher to make, running back into foul territory with all that backspin on that high fly ball. And after he had missed the center cut fastball, decides to go after the sweeper the next pitch, gets it off the end of the bat, and very quickly out number 2.
Still a runner on second. Still 5-1 Red Sox. The pitch to IKF. Swinging a bouncing ball off the glove of Devers at third. Picked up at short by Hamilton. Turner was rounding third. He dives back, but it's an infield single for IKF. And runners on the corners for the Blue Jays.
And it's another quality swing by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Remember, in his last at-bat, he got that fastball that was 2 or 3 balls above the strike zone that he got barrel on top of for the sac fly out to center field. This one in a different location. It's a sweeper low and outside. Gets around it, hits it hard into the 5-6 hole. Justin Turner was thinking he was going to score on this one, had to put on the brakes at the very last minute.
Good play by Hamilton at short to knock it down off the deflection, or else Turner does score if it would have went to the outfield. Ernie Clance up, he's 1 for 1. First and third, 2 outs. The pitch from Pivetta is popped up back of second. Center fielder Rafaela coming in, makes a 2-handed catch and ends the inning. 2 hits but no runs for the Blue Jays. They leave a pair on and trail 5-1 after 4. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
And the Boston Celtics win the NBA championship tonight. Sirius XM NBA Radio with a preview all day of the NBA final, with the Dallas Mavericks trying to stay alive and force a Game 6. Play-by-play, 8:30 Eastern. NBA Radio, Sirius XM Channel 86, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM Sports, wherever you are. Your team plays here. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to our all-time fantasy baseball draft to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts. Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Trevor Richards into the game for the Blue Jays. 5-1 Red Sox, top of the 5th inning at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Yusei Kikuchi done for the day on his 33rd birthday. Not the best start for Kikuchi, who ends up going 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, no walks, and 7 strikeouts.
Just some of the swings that the Red Sox were taking today just really felt like they were almost a pitch ahead of what Kikuchi was throwing, that they almost were anticipating what he was going to bring in there, just hammering some of the fastballs, hammering some of the changeups, just really couldn't get into a rhythm out there on the mound.
Richards to Jaron Duran, missed low with the first one, missed his outside with the second one, 2-0. For Kikuchi, it matches a career high in home runs allowed at 4. Most since the start with Seattle in 2019. Next pitch called strike with a fastball. Trevor Richards, the heaviest off-speed pitcher you're going to see. Throws over 60% changeups, most in Major League Baseball. 2-1. Changeup hit in the air, down the left field line. Dalton Varsho's got a beat, shuffling to his right. Makes the catch, 1 out.
I think the way that Trevor Richards is able to manipulate his changeup and throw it in different parts of the zone is one of the reasons why he's so successful just throwing 2 pitches, because you'd think from an opponent standpoint, a batter standpoint, you're just going up there sitting one of the 2, but the way that he's able to make that changeup dance, it's a lot easier said than done.
It's changed it a little bit this year as well, throwing it slower with more movement vertically than before. First pitch is a change outside, 1-0. For Richards, his 31st appearance, an earned run average just over 3 in 34 innings, or 35 innings, pardon me. He's about a strikeout a frame. 1-0. Changeup hit foul.
A lot of versatility that he's shown for the Blue Jays, not just this year, but last year too. Moving into the opener role at times when needed. We just saw that recently in this past series too.
John Schneider had mentioned before today with the injury now to Jimmy Garcia, probably becomes a little bit more of a traditional reliever again. 1-1 fastball hit foul, 1-2, as the Blue Jays will need him in higher leverage spots than they did before.
And it's the consistency piece that you get from Richards when he's out there. He's going to throw strikes. He's going to throw strikes with both his fastball and his changeup, and he's been able to do that whether in a starting position or coming in relief.
Is 1-2 in the dirt. 1 out, base is empty. 5-1 Red Sox, top of the 5th. 5th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 each to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz at goodsparkgrants.ca. Richards kicks, fires, and misses down and away with a fastball at 93. Full count. Jaron Duran retired first. Rob Refsnyder up right now. Tyler O'Neill on deck. Richards set at the belt. Looks to the plate, the 3-2. Fastball. Called strike 3. Refsnyder was 4 or 5 steps down the line, but that was a perfect pitch on the outside edge. Delayed call as Richards punches out Refsnyder.
Because Richards is going to go back pretty evenly with that changeup in that fastball, you're going to see a lot of strikeouts looking because batters are anticipating seeing that changeup, and then he fires in that fastball right on the corner. That's 3 strikeouts in a row for Refsnyder in this game.
First pitch to Tyler O'Neill, called strike 1. He's had the exact opposite game. He's had home runs in each of his at-bats.
Home run on a fastball and on a changeup, so we'll see which one Trevor Richards decides to throw to him here in this 0-1 count.
Swing and a miss on a changeup down, 0-2. 413 feet to the second deck in the first, and then 400 feet to deep left center in the third. It's 5-1 Red Sox. 2 outs, top of the 5th. 0-2. Fouled and dropped by Jansen on a foul tip there. Still 0-2.
3 straight changeups out of the hand of Richards to O'Neill in this at-bat. 3 changeups all in different parts of the strike zone, too. Threw him one away. The last 2 on the inside part of the plate, but one was way down in the dirt for a check swing and miss.
0-2 again. Change-up low. This time O'Neill lays off. Tough pitch. That one was just below the zone. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, no other AL East teams played tonight, but Philadelphia Phillies up 8-1 on San Diego, bottom 6. 5-1 Red Sox, top of the 5th, the 1-2. Fastball high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. We also have Miami and St. Louis tied on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, 1-1 top of the 8th. 4-1 Pirates over Reds, bottom of the 5th in Pittsburgh. 2-2. Change up low, full count.
Looking forward to that Pittsburgh-Cincinnati matchup. Paul Skeens back on the mound for the Pirates. Already 17 swings and misses today.
Sheesh. That's their 4 innings of work. 3-2. Bouncing ball hit to third. Picked up on the forehand side by Clement. Crow hops, throws across the diamond, and retires Tyler O'Neill. A 1-2-3 frame for Richards. The Blue Jays will have Kiermaier, Schneider, and Jansen hitting when we return in the bottom of the 5th. 5-1 Red Sox. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Copa America kicks off Thursday, and you could hear all the top soccer stars from North and South America in action on Sirius XM. The U.S. men's national team goes toe-to-toe with elite competition, including Brazil and defending champion Argentina.
It's Messi! It's always him!
Hear every Copa America match, plus expert analysis, all tournament long on Fox Sports 83 and Sirius XM FC 157, or listen anytime on the Sirius XM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game. The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the Sirius XM app. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Madison Shipman. Show Ali, our host and producer. Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our technical directors. Kevin Kiermaier up in the bottom of the fifth. 5-1 Red Sox. The pitch from Nick Pivetta is hitting the air, shallow left center. Rafaela coming in. So is Durant. Rafaela dives, and he made the catch. What a play. Ceddanne Rafaela. One down.
Ben, you and I were talking about it before the game. One of the things you were looking forward to seeing was watching Rafaela in center field, and that was a phenomenal play. He had to run a long way for that one, hit off the very end of the bat of Kevin Kiermaier, and he just flat out lays out for this ball, gets it just before it hits the turf out in center field. Doesn't get much better than that in center.
He looks like a guy that might win a lot of Gold Gloves in his career. Takes a hit away from the four-time Gold Glover Kevin Kiermaier. First pitch strike to Davis Schneider. It's part of the reason that with under 50 days of Major League service time, the Red Sox signed Rafaela to an 8-year, $50 million contract that will run until 2031. 0-1. Swinging a bouncing ball foul, 0-2. One out, base is empty. 5-1 Red Sox, bottom of the fifth. Pivetta rears back, fires, and Schneider fouls it off on the ground again. In a sec, we'll take a look at the injury report brought to you by Bergman & Sprayra Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count. Call Bergman & Sprayra Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergman & Sprayra will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. 0-2. High. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big news today is, unfortunately, Jimmy Garcia has hit the injured list. Exited the Blue Jays game yesterday in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Right elbow ulnar neuritis is what they're calling it. He got an MRI last night. No structural damage, they said. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Schneider down on the high heat. Flips his bat up and back into his hands in frustration. 2 down.
Seems like that decision with Garcia, too, happened very quickly, because talking to John Schneider before this ball game, they were kind of looking at it as day-to-day with Jimmy Garcia, but then before the start of the game, got the news that they went ahead and placed him on the IL.
Garcia out for a minimum of 15 days. Here's Danny Jansen, the pitch. Down and away, 1-0. Blue Jays in the corresponding move brought Brandon Eisert up, a lefty. Eisert could make his Major League debut, has never pitched in the big leagues before. 1-0. Swing and a liner, headed to left center field, down in the gap, cut off by Rafaela. Jansen will stop at first. He's got a 2-out single and extends the inning for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Good swing by Danny Jansen. Gets a fastball inside. He's very short and compact with his swing. He almost comes down on this fastball to hit the line drive out into left center field. Good 2-out swing to bring Vladdy up with a runner on board. He's had some great swings on fastballs so far today.
A single on a hard hit liner and a line out to right field. Lots of space on the right side of the infield. Second baseman Emmanuel Valdez up the middle. Here's the pitch. Swing and a fly ball right field. Going back, Ref Snyder settles in front of the track and makes the catch just on the track to end the inning. A hit for the Blue Jays with 2 outs. Danny Jansen left on first. 5-1 Red Sox after 5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Our core values: equality, respect, the pursuit of greatness. Through and through, this is who we are.
Be at the ballpark to experience a proud tradition. Canada Day, Monday, July 1st. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays Canadian tuxedo hat giveaway. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Proud to the core. Canadian to the core. Blue Jays to the core.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Kiermaier going back to the wall. He leaps and he made the catch!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 6th in Toronto. 5-1, the Red Sox leading the Blue Jays at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Second inning of work for Trevor Richards, Rafael Devers, Connor Wong, and Romy Gonzalez to hit this inning after John Schneider, the former catcher, had warmed up Trevor Richards in the absence of Danny Jansen putting on his equipment.
Looked like he picked a changeup out of the dirt, too. No gear, nothing.
First pitch to Rafael Devers, called strike 1.
I was waiting for him to drop and block on something, too.
Oh, I don't know if you want to do that.
No, I don't think so.
0-1. Check swing by Devers. Pitch was in the dirt. No appeal. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Especially not with his new shoes he was showing off to us before the game.
Son Gunner picked him up a Father's Day gift. Some black and blue Nike Air Force Ones or Air Jordan Air Force Ones.
Jordan, yeah, I think there were some J's.
1-1. Swing and a fly ball out to right field. Springer on the run, at the track, reaches up, makes the catch. 1 out.
Pretty good swing there by Devers. Just barely gets underneath that one. A good run by George Springer out in right field, too, to track that one down practically to the wall. Devers got a hold of a changeup that he hit pretty well.
So Devers is down now 1 for 3, and here's Connor Wong, who's 1 for 2. Singled in the 4th, came in to score. Richards, the righty, kicks, releases. First pitch, cut on and miss, strike 1. Was mentioning the injuries last inning, just to wrap up. So if you weren't with us, Jimmy Garcia on the IL. He's got a right elbow issue, 15 days. Blue Jays were unsure pregame, at least, if Bo Bichette's available today. Still dealing with that right calf ailment. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. He did go through some base running, some batting drills, testing out the calf. On the good news side, Yariel Rodriguez feeling good today, back in Toronto, and John Schneider said it's a definite possibility that he starts in Cleveland on the weekend. And then you also have Jordan Romano throwing from 90 to 120 feet today, long toss, and they said if it feels good today, he'll go to a mound coming up as the next step.
Definitely seems like there's a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel for some of these injuries that the Blue Jays have dealt with. Now getting Jimmy Garcia on the IL is a bit of a big blow, but if you can get some of those other arms back sooner rather than later, that definitely helps pick up the slack.
With one out, the 1-2. Swinging a bouncing ball up the middle, right at the second baseman, Schneider. He whizzes it over to first. 2 down. And on the other side, meant to mention earlier, a couple innings ago, after striking out, Emmanuel Valdez entered into the game. David Hamilton, the shortstop, was removed. Hamilton, according to MLB.com's Ian Brown, left with left side discomfort. So Emmanuel Valdez in playing second, and Romy Gonzalez up right now has moved to short in Hamilton's spot. Gonzalez takes a pitch low, 1-0. 5-1 Red Sox, 2 outs, top of the 6th. Gonzalez with a single in the 4th was picked off to end that inning off third. 1-0 pitch. Just low. It's not the incorrect call, but a very borderline pitch for ball 2.
It's a tough pitch to take, too, because it's so close to the strike zone. And out of Trevor Richards' hand, it looks like that changeup's going to hang out in the middle of the zone. And right as it gets to you as a batter, it just drops significantly.
Next pitch high, 3-0.
Now he's got to find something that he can throw for a strike here in this 3-0 count. If I'm Gonzalez, I'm going to go ahead and take this one. Force him to have to throw it into that strike zone.
3-0. High ball 4. 2-out walk. Let's take a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Mentioned earlier the NBA Finals. 4 minutes into those finals, the Boston Celtics up 6-2 in what could be a decisive Game 5. Celtics lead the series 3-1. All 6 points for Boston so far have come from Drew Holiday, the point guard who already has 1 ring, coming back with the Milwaukee Bucks a couple years ago. Here's the pitch to Bobby Dahlbeck. 2-out runner on first, outside, ball 1. And for those watching the UEFA European Championships, also known as the Euros, Romania today defeating Ukraine 3-0 in the first game of the day. Slovakia beats Belgium 1-0, and then France defeating Austria most recently 1-0. Richards misses outside, hits the zone to make it 1-1. Trevor Richards, quite the soccer fan, supports Everton in the Premier League. Righty kicks, releases in the dirt, 2-1. I happen to cheer for a rival team, but we've been civil about it.
Oh, okay. So you guys have had conversations about the soccer? Okay.
So he's an Everton fan because Richards, of course, American. There were 2 prominent American players that played for Everton years ago, in Landon Donovan and Tim Howard. Turn and throw over to first, dive back safely. Richards, in addition to playing baseball, played soccer in high school, and it was and is a pretty big soccer fan, and so getting into the Premier League, he latched onto the team with some Americans on the team.
I feel like I need to up my we got to start talking shop about some soccer up here.
2-1 pitch hit foul, 2-2. The good news is for all the leagues, now there's some tournaments right now, it's off season because there's a lot of baseball going on. You're working in softball. I'd forgive you for not being quite up to date on soccer. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 6th. 5-1, the Red Sox lead. The 2-2 pitch hit on the ground at third. On the run, picked by Clement, throws over to second for the short quick out to end the inning. No runs, a walk, 1 left on, and still a 5-1 Red Sox lead, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Yamanika Saunders, and you can listen to my new show, Off Topic with Yamanika, on Kevin Hart's LOL Radio, Channel 96. It was important for me to have a platform to express myself. I am a Black woman in America, and I come from a very personal and very specific POV and opinion. I want to have a place where people like me can give you another perspective, and then you figure out what you want. Check me out every day, 3 p.m. on the East Coast and noon on the West Coast. Off Topic with Yamanika on Kevin Hart's LOL Radio, Channel 96.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the 2024 NBA Draft begins on June 26th, and NBA Radio is your home for all the action. Hear every pick on NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Bottom of the 6th inning at a loud Rogers Center. 5-1, the Red Sox lead the Blue Jays. Dalton Varsho leading off against Nick Pivetta. Here's the pitch. Low ball 1. Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Rogers Center got loud because now Canadian Baseball Hall of Famer, 3-year Blue Jay, and multiple-time All-Star Canadian catcher Russell Martin just chugged a beer on the big screen. Varsho takes up and away 2-0. Martin, a great catcher, getting a lot of cheers here.
Yeah, the 4-time All-Star is just trying to do whatever he can to spark some Blue Jays offense, I think, in this inning. Even if it means chugging a cold beverage, he's going to do whatever it takes.
Varsho takes strike 1. I mean, he did it plenty of times as a Blue Jay. You go to his All-Star 2015 season, he hit a career-high 23 home runs as a great defensive catcher, too. 2-1 pitch, called strike, 2-2. Got to catch up with Russell a little bit on Thursday. The Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame put on an event here at Rogers Center to kick off their induction weekend. 2-2. Inside 3-2. I mean, he only retired after the 2019 season, but he looks like he could absolutely get behind there still right now. He's looking good, and he truly is one of the great Canadian players in Major League history. 3-2. Swing and a pop-up just off to our left. That'll drop into the 200-level seats.
I wonder if John Schneider's thinking maybe he could have suited up Russell Martin to take some of those in-between inning pitches from Trevor Richards so that he didn't have to get behind the plate and do it.
Got a lot of catchers in the building. Dalton Varsho caught to start his career. Here's the 3-2. Popped up right over the plate. Connor Wong moving back near the Blue Jays logo onto the warning track, makes the catch in front of the backstop for the first out of the inning.
Wong has made a couple of those catches now where he's running back towards that backstop, hangs on to his face mask for a while until he gets a beat on it, and then decides to throw it well out of the way, make sure he doesn't trip over his own mask. Makes those ones look very easy, even though they're extremely difficult with all that backspin.
Made a catch 2 innings ago, now the first out here, and here's the pitch to Justin Turner, called strike 1. Turner's been the best Blue Jay at the plate today so far. He's got a double, a walk, and a run scored. Pavetta's 0-1. Down and away. Turner, a former teammate of Russell Martin. 2019, Martin returned to the Dodgers, the team he started his career with, and played with Justin Turner. 1-1. Swing and a fly ball deep left field. Jogging to the track, Duran turns. It's out of here. First home run since April for Justin Turner, and he brings the Blue Jays within 3, 5-2 Red Sox.
It's really great to see Justin Turner having consistently quality at-bats. That's what you want from him. That's what the Blue Jays have been missing really the past couple of games from him, is getting those tough, hard-nosed at-bats from him. But now you're seeing that in today's ball game, and he just unloads on that cutter, perfectly on time for it. We saw a lot of these swings from him in BP before the ball game today. So good to see it finally translate during the ball game for Turner.
First pitch to Springer hit foul, 0-1. In a day of deep home runs, the Red Sox have hit 4 of them. That home run, the furthest hit of all, 425 feet for Turner, who walks the dugout in the home run jacket. 0-1. Check swing, pitch outside.
Has to feel good for him, too, especially, like we said, the past couple of days where maybe he's swinging outside of the zone, just not the usual Justin Turner swings that we saw even back in April of this season. Maybe starting to hit his stride a bit here.
Springer checks his swing again. Pitch called inside borderline. It's 2-1.
Even coming into this season, you heard from a lot of the players in the clubhouse just important his presence was and how somebody like him and his offensive numbers can take a lot of the pressure off of some of the other players in this lineup, take pressure off of somebody like George Springer to have to come through every time.
Springer hooks it on the ground softly. Devers cutting off the shortstop. The third baseman comes up with it, throws to first. 2 down. Tomorrow night will be another Looney Dog Night presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday at Rogers Center, there's tons of hot dog fun around the ballpark and, of course, all the dollar dogs. Get to BlueJays.com/LooneyDogs to purchase your tickets now. 2 outs, the pitch to IKF. Called strike 1. Connor Falefa's been productive today. A sac fly in the second and had that infield single in the fourth that banked off Devers, the third baseman, and was hauled in by Gonzalez at short. 0-1 pitch is lined, leaping catch at short. Romy Gonzalez moved over there mid-game and has made a handful of good plays. He takes a hit away from IKF and ends the inning. Blue Jays inch closer on Turner's 5th home run of the season. It's 5-2 Boston through 6. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
So Blue Jays fans, you want to know about salsa? Salsa is more than dancing. It's more than music. Salsa is the passion and spirit that is at the core of the beautiful cultures of Latin America. The Blue Jays are bringing salsa to the ballpark on June 27th. Be one of the first 15,000 fans in attendance and receive a Blue Jays chip and dip bowl. Celebrate salsa and create core memories with your Blue Jays. It's salsa night. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. Right, Vladdy?
Everybody salsa.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jordan Romano saves the game for the Blue Jays.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
7th inning on a sunny evening in downtown Toronto. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Thanks so much for joining us at Rogers Center. Game 1 of this 3-game set, Blue Jays and Red Sox. Boston up 5-2. After 2 scoreless innings of work with only 1 base runner, a walk by Trevor Richards, Tim Meza is into the ball game for the Blue Jays. He'll start left on left with Emmanuel Valdez. First pitch. Called no. Low ball 1. A look to the side by Emil Jimenez, but decided not to call the strike, so it's 1-0.
It's been very close on that bottom part of the zone, which is an area that Tim Meza wants to get called.
Next pitch is chopped, a long bounce to first, fielded at the shoestrings by Guerrero. He goes to the bag, 1 out.
Goes back with that sinker inside just a little bit further up in the zone, so he gets Valdez to swing and an easy ground ball over to Vladdy at first base for a quick out, number 1. And that's got to feel good for Tim Meza, who hasn't had quite the season he would have hoped to have had at this point. In the last 2/3 of an inning that he's thrown over the course of 2 games, he's given up 5 hits and 2 earned runs.
Righties have given him trouble this year specifically. First pitch to Cedon Rafaela, down and in, ball 1. 31st appearance of the season for Meza, an ERA around 5.5 after he was a 1.5 earned run average guy last year. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Still giving lefties trouble. They're batting .244 against him this year, but right-handed hitters like Rafaela batting in the 330s. Meza rocks, delivers. Swing and a sharp liner down the right field line, hooking into the seats, foul. 1-2. Or rather, slicing off the bat of the right-handed hitter Rafaela. (5-2) Red Sox. Justin Turner's home run in the bottom of the 6th has made this one a little bit closer. Rafaela has a homer today. He's 1 for 2. Meza's 1-2 pitch. Swing and a soft bouncer, foul down the left field line. Right where the wave is starting in the left field corner, moving counterclockwise to behind home plate.
I will say yesterday there were some very dedicated fans out in left field really trying hard for several innings, over the course of a few innings, trying to get the wave started. I think they were finally successful with it as the game went on.
Wave's kind of in its infancy right now. It keeps starting and stopping.
It's building up.
1-2. Swing and a broken bat bouncer right side, sneaks through into right center field. Blue Jays were drifting over to the pull side for Rafaela. He had all of that right side of the infield open, and he found a way to shoot it through. First second base hit today.
A weakly hit ground ball that's just hit right through that 3-4 hole, playing against the shift. Clearly with that swing, he was trying to inside out that sinker, and he was able to be successful with it. Not getting a lot of it, but Tim Meza has been on the wrong side of a couple of those weakly hit base hits in his past few outings.
He deals to Jarren Duran, left-handed hitter at the top of the order, misses down and away, ball 1. One thing for Meza this year is that the velocity has been a little bit down. He did throw that sinker that got hit on the ground to right field at 94, which is about where the Blue Jays were seeing him last year, but then he comes back with 92 to start off Duran. Bearded lefty, drafted by the Blue Jays in 2013, debuted for Toronto in 2017. 1-0. Swing and a bouncer through the 5-6 hole on the left side. Into left field, a base hit. Back-to-back ground ball singles, first and second with 1 out.
And singles that are just hit against the shift, too. Both of those ground balls, if the infielders are playing straight up, they're going to be easy outs. But because IKF was shifted and shaded more up the middle, that one just squeaks through the 5-6 hole. Again, a swing where a Red Sox batter is just inside-outing these sinkers and hitting them right where the defenders aren't.
Blue Jays have Genesis Cabrera starting to throw, but they're going to leave Meza in here as Rob Refsnyder starts a pocket of back-to-back right-handed hitters. First and second, 1 down the pitch. Called strike 1.
Some of those weak base hits, too, I do think are a product of that velocity just not being where it was last year. You add a couple of miles per hour on both of those pitches, and maybe they go a little bit more weakly hit to the corners rather than squeaking through the infield.
Kick and twist around to second, no throw by Meza. He'll look back. The runner Cedon Rafaela to the bag. Perhaps a chance to reset here against Refsnyder, who has struggled today. 0 for 3 with 1 strikeout swinging and a pair looking. 0-1. High. Refsnyder, a Blue Jay in 2017. 32 games with Toronto, traded over from the New York Yankees. Got a lot of time when Troy Tulowitzki got injured that year. Devin Travis as well up the middle. 1-1. High, 2-1. Now plays more as an outfielder than an infielder, but was an infielder at that time.
Plays a pretty good outfield, too. He's got a lot of arm strength.
Meza's 2-1. Line to right field. This could be trouble. Slicing toward the corner. Fair ball as it bounces on the line. Around third, Rafaela scores. Coming to the plate, Duran. He'll get a late stop sign and go back to third. But it's an RBI double for Rob Refsnyder. And the Red Sox get the run back. 6-2, they lead.
With the way the Red Sox are swinging the bat, you really have to, as a pitcher, get ahead in the count. And Tim Mesa falls behind 2-1, throws this 92-mile-an-hour sinker outside to Refsnyder, and he goes with this pitch, gets a good piece of it, and hits it straight down that right field line. Going to score another run for the Red Sox easily, making their lead 6-2.
And it brings up the dangerous Tyler O'Neill. Second and third, one out, infield in for Toronto. Top of the seventh, and they will issue O'Neill the free pass. It's an interesting one, but you can understand the logic. O'Neill goes to first to load the bases, forces everywhere. You do bring up Rafael Devers, but a left-on-left matchup.
That's the only thing that I'm thinking about here, too, is that you've got Devers as the one that you're bringing up to the plate with the bases loaded, but you want to give yourself as many opportunities to get out of this inning as possible. And the best way to do that is go ahead and load up the bases, possibly get a ground ball double play here to get out of this inning.
Devers has hit lefties fairly well this year, 273 as opposed to his 288 average against right-handed hitters.
Before this game, he had only had one home run against a left-handed pitcher before he went yard off of Kikuchi back in the first inning.
Hit a 3-2 fastball, 424 feet to left center field. Bases loaded, one out, a run in for the Red Sox. Top of the seventh. Here's the pitch. Devers chops it foul to the right, 0-1. One thing this does allow the Blue Jays to do also is back up the infield a little bit now that they have the chance to turn two. Middle infielders will play a double play depth. Corner infielders in a little bit further. 0-1. Swing and a fly ball center field. Coming in Kiermaier. Tagging at third base Duran. Kiermaier makes the catch. Duran tags. And Kevin Kiermaier will toss it into third. Sacrifice fly, Rafael Devers. 7-2 Red Sox, now 2 outs.
Kiermaier is able to make the out on this fly ball out in center field, but he did not get a good read on that ball up in the air. You could see that as he's running in to catch this ball, he loses it. And as an outfielder, you're trying to time it to where you're actually running through on that catch to get as much behind the throw as possible, because you know that runner at third base is tagging all the way. And it almost looked like he charged it too early and then lost it up in the air, so he was not able to get a good read and a good jump on that one.
Here's Connor Wong, 2 outs, first and second, 7-2 Red Sox the pitch. Called strike. If you go back a couple series, the Blue Jays were taking on the Pirates, and a ball lost in the twilight out in center field ended up helping Toronto score a run and eventually win a game in 14 innings. 0-1. Wong hits it foul down the right field line, 0-2. And I had asked Kiermaier the next day about Twilight Sky. I gave him the choice. Sun is right overhead or Twilight Sky. Which one's tougher? And he said Twilight. He said for him in his career, he's had much more trouble with this kind of middle ground between day and night than even the sun getting in his eyes.
And I guess the entire sky is that twilight rather than the sun just being in one spot. Probably why he's thinking he'd rather deal with the sun than the twilight.
0-2 pitch is low, 1-2. And he told me he's tried different things, wears sunglasses even in the darker days, but he said there's just not much he can do to fight the twilight. 1-2. Bounce to the plate, blocked by Jansen.
Another great block by Danny Jansen back behind the plate. But yeah, when it comes to those sun balls up in the air, you can, of course, use glasses. You can use your glove to cover up the sun for as long as possible. You can even turn your body, get to one side of it so that you're blocking the sun. But with the twilight, there is just nothing you can do. You can tell he's still frustrated out in center field after that one.
2-2 heater. Called strike 3 on the inside edge. That ends the inning. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Red Sox. They're up 7-2 at the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
George Springer has given the Blue Jays the lead once again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 7th, downtown Toronto. The scene for the first of 3 between the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. Thanks so much for sticking with us. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. It's 7-2 Boston. Nick Pivetta, the Canadian starter, out for his 7th inning of work. His pitch to Ernie Clement. Swinging a foul off, 0-1. 16th game, 14th start that Pivetta has made against the Blue Jays, the team he's seen and started against, the second most in his career to the Atlanta Braves. 0-1. Swing and a pop-up into the seats, 0-2. Typically, he has not succeeded against the Blue Jays, an ERA above 5 in almost 80 career innings entering this one. Today has been one of his best he's ever pitched against Toronto.
Well, that's one of the reasons why the lineup looks the way that it does against Pivetta. John Schneider trying to play with some of that veteran presence.
0-2 pitch fouled off.
And some of the guys that have had several at-bats against Pivetta, and that's why he's put those guys that have been around for a long time into the lineup today, hoping that it would give them an advantage against Pivetta. But today he's looked outstanding, just working all of his pitches all throughout the zone, and really the Red Sox pitching staff as a whole has kind of changed the way that they approach, the way that they throw to teams throughout this entire season.
Time called by home plate umpire Emil Jimenez. Ernie Clement asks for time. Pivetta still delivered the pitch, and Jimenez walked out to the side, said something to Clement. I mean, I don't know if he's telling him not to call it that late. Jimenez does not have to grant Ernie Clement time if he doesn't want to, but he did.
Yeah, he granted it extremely late. Almost looked like Pivetta was just about to get into his motion.
Here's the 0-2. And it's lined by Clement to left field, sinking down for a hit. 2-hit day for Ernie Clement. He's on first to start the bottom of the 7th.
And he doesn't shy away from what he likes to do in the batter's box. He likes to go up there. He likes to be aggressive and just take hacks at the pitches that he's seeing. And he takes hacks at some balls that are not even close to the strike zone. Again, this one looks like a breaking ball low and away that would have been called for a ball, but he's got great swing adjustability as that pitch is on its way to him. Lets go of the bat, gets that extension, and drops it out into the outfield.
First pitch to Kevin Kiermaier, high ball 1. I don't think either of Clement's hits have actually come off pitches in the zone.
It's a good place to be when you can hit just about anything that's being thrown your way.
The righty Pivetta kicks and delivers. Low ball 2. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Pivetta's former team, the team he debuted with, the Philadelphia Phillies, up 9-2 on the San Diego Padres. A 2-home run, 4 RBI day for Kyle Schwarber.
He's just been on a tear recently with the home runs. Seems like him and Gunnar Henderson are in competition to see who can hit the most leadoff home runs between those two, but another 2 home runs for Schwarber, and Alec Boehm with a home run for the Phillies tonight too.
Kiermaier takes inside. 3 balls, no strikes. Clement on first. Pivetta's pitch. Called strike 1. And being with the Phillies is part of the reason Pivetta has seen the Blue Jays so much. Phillies and Blue Jays play a home-and-home every season, and then he comes over to Boston in a trade 2021 and obviously sees the Blue Jays multiple times a year. 3-1. Swing and a bouncing ball to short. This could be 2. Gonzalez goes to the bag himself. Sidearms to first. 6-3. Double play.
Exactly what Pivetta wanted after giving up that base hit to Ernie Clement. Gives them an opportunity to roll up a ground ball double play. Romy Gonzalez being entered into the ballgame after David Hamilton left with that side soreness, and he gets a ball right up the middle, steps on the base himself, and an easy 6-3 double play.
So the base is wiped, 2 down. Here's Davis Schneider. 0 for 3 today, the pitch. Called strike 1. Elsewhere on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Boston Celtics are up 36-24 on the Dallas Mavericks at TD Garden, Game 5 of that series. Next pitch by Schneider, or to Schneider, is hit well left field. If it's fair, it's gone. That one's way out of here. Solo home run, Davis Schneider scraping the sky before it dropped into the second deck. Second Blue Jays home run of the day. It's 7-3.
Davis Schneider goes right after a sweeper that hangs up on the inside part of the plate, and he does not get cheated on this swing. Unloads on this pitch inside. He's always looking to turn on something. That's his power alley, pulling it out to left field, and he got that one up into the second deck for another solo shot for the Blue Jays.
Toronto back down 4. Here's Danny Jansen. Pivetta kicks, releases, and Jansen slices it over the netting off to the right, 0-1. For Schneider, his 9th home run of the year, 34th RBI. Both bullpens up now. The Red Sox thinking about life after Pivetta, 0-1. Down and away. Right on right, next pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Brad Keller loosening up in right field for Boston. In left field, Brandon Eisert is getting loose for what could be his major league debut. 2 down, the 1-2 pitch. Bounce to the plate.
Blue Jays with a couple of home runs today. These are one of those games where you wish they could string together some base hits before those big home runs. You'll take the home runs, but you wish they were 2 or 3 run shots.
2-2 pitch is hit down the left field line. On the run, Duran into the corner, reaches up and makes the catch. Ends the inning. Blue Jays add on another, but make it 7 innings for Canadian starter Nick Pivetta. Davis Schneider's homer makes it 7-3. Go into the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM.
Let's go, baby!
We're back on the track Sunday,
1:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the USA Today 301 from New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah!
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you, wherever you are, with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer! Yeah!
Hey everyone, it's Brian Geltzeiler from SiriusXM NBA Radio. The NBA draft begins on June 26th, and we're your home for all the action. Hear non-stop coverage on all our shows.
Mark it down. That guy is going to be a star in this league.
Exclusive interviews.
We are now joined by Bronny James.
I just found happiness in what I'm doing right now, and I feel like that's where I want myself to be at.
At every pick on the big night.
With the first pick.
Your home for the 2024 draft is NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the all-new SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody!
This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Top of the 8th inning in downtown Toronto. 7-3, the Red Sox leading the Blue Jays. Toronto inching a little bit closer after Davis Schneider's solo home run in the bottom of the 7th. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. We're preparing for this weekend series. 3 games between the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. Brandon Eisert in for his major league debut. Lefty's first pitch sails high to Romy Gonzalez, 1-0. Eisert, an 18th rounder by the Blue Jays in 2019 out of Oregon State, was part of the Beavers team that won the national title with Adley Rutschman, Stephen Kwan. Next pitch fouled back, banging into the backstop, 1-1. For the 26-year-old, had been in AAA for a 3rd straight season. ERA in the 6s, but the strikeout rate really good. Struck out 35 in under 23 innings. 1-1. Swinging a bouncing ball, and IKF broke the wrong way. It goes up the middle, probably gets through anyway, but an odd play there. It's a single for Gonzalez.
It's almost like he thought that ball was going to be pulled into the 5-6 hole, and he took a really hard step to his right, just got completely fooled on that ground ball. A good-looking pitch, and Gonzalez takes it straight back up the middle of the ball. I don't know if IKF would have been able to have a play on that one, but wasn't even close with him breaking the opposite direction.
Runner takes off on the first pitch, early jump, but it's fouled back, 0-1. A day after the Red Sox stole a franchise record 9 bases, they actually haven't stolen a base today. They've tried a couple times, but foul balls have gotten in the way.
Well, because they keep hitting home runs, so
true.
They haven't had a ton of base runners. But the foul balls mostly have been getting in the way.
0-1. Fastball at the top of the zone, strike 2.
Going to see a lot of fastballs with Eisert. He's not going to blow you away with velocity. He'll throw it 92, 93 miles per hour, and he likes to throw that combination of a curveball and a slider just to mix things up, get people off balance.
Lefty's 0-2 is popped up back of first. Springer running in toward the line in right field. He'll make the catch. That's the first out recorded in the major league career of Brandon Eisert.
Nice job there, too, coming in with the slider after establishing the fastball for a strike. That's when you can use some of those breaking balls. It's a nice job for him after the leadoff runner getting on board, getting the very next batter out.
So Bobby Dahlbeck down, and here's Emmanuel Valdez. 0 for 1 today, entered the game in the 4th inning and grounded out last inning. Throw over to first. Gonzalez back in safely. Eisert for 2 years, a closer for the Oregon State Beavers, moved into the rotation in his final season when they won the national title. Slide step in the 0-1. Good breaking ball on the outside edge. That was the slider, 0-2.
Eisert went to the College World Series a couple of times during his time at Oregon State, even made it his freshman year, and as you mentioned, was used as a starter in his junior year, but also used in relief early on in his career.
Next pitch down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Said he got moved into that starting role because of an injury to one of his teammates that year, and they asked him, hey, can you go out there and start? And he said, sure can.
Worked out for him, worked out for the Beavers. Step in, throw to first. That's the second check on Gonzalez. You can get a little more aggressive now. It's a loaded team, though. Not just Rutschman and Kwan, but Nick Madrigal, Trevor Larnach. 1-1. Slider just outside. Jansen liked the pitch, pumps his glove out to the pitcher, but it's 2-1. Eisert brought up today with Jimmy Garcia going on the injured list with right elbow ulnar neuritis. Described as more of a zinger than pain in his right elbow. 2-1 pitch high. 3 balls, 1 strike.
This is where those 9 steals last night for the Red Sox come into play for the pitchers on the mound, because you're constantly worried about whether or not those runners are going to take off, but you have to make sure that you're still focusing on that pitch coming into the batter. A couple of these pitches missing well outside of the zone, a couple of them close, but that last one way up.
Swing and a miss on a good slider. Valdez lost his helmet, 3-2. Yeah, John Schneider had mentioned pregame it's a fine line. You don't want a guy to steal, but you certainly don't want to give up a 2-run or a 3-run homer because you're paying too much attention to a runner instead of the pitch. 1 out, runner on first, full count, top of the 8th. Time asked for, granted by home plate umpire Emil Jimenez. It was the batter Valdez who asked for time. Back in the box, Valdez. Left on left pitch. Just low and away. Ball 4. Some tough takes by Valdez. A walk by Eisert. First and second with one out.
A couple of pretty good spots for that slider, too. Low and away from the lefty Valdez. Not missing by much. You can even see pitching coach Pete Walker in the dugout clapping and cheering him on, probably liking those locations. A couple of them very close there. Doesn't get the calls. See what he can do against Rafaela, coming up with 2 runners on board.
On the pitch, a double steal. Pitches a ball thrown out at third. Safe is the call. That's a close one, and Ernie Clement points to the Blue Jays dugout. Blue Jays third baseman wants them to look. Romy Gonzalez and Emmanuel Valdez took off on the pitch up and in. Strong throw over to third. John Schneider will ask for a challenge.
Danny Jansen got rid of this ball very quickly, and a good job by Ernie Clement to cover third base. Looks like he's able to get that tag there. I believe that this one's going to be overturned to an out.
It's really close, but I tend to agree with you that Clement kind of slid his glove into the elbow of Gonzalez before that sliding mitten came down on the base.
A very close play at third, but it does look like Clement got the tag on the forearm right before Gonzalez got his hand into the base. Doesn't get much closer than that, and that is a great play by Ernie Clement. When you're charging in, having to get in front of the base and then reach back behind you and apply the tag, so much difficulty wrapped up in just one play there. But I think this one's going to get changed. I think it's going to get overturned.
After review, the call is overturned. The runner is out. And Toronto will retain his down.
So it is overturned. Romy Gonzalez called out. Danny Jansen throws out the base runner. Valdez does move up from first to second, but the Blue Jays will take it in 3 stolen base attempts if you count 2 there on a double steal. 1 guy thrown out, 1 guy picked off, and 1 stolen base.
And that's one way to take away the running game, is to go ahead and just throw them out when they are going to take off.
1-0 to Rafaela, hit foul, 1-1. We're here in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Now 2 outs, runner on second, top of the 8th, 7-3 Red Sox. Blue Jays trying to keep it close. You never know. They were up pretty big yesterday on Cleveland, and that turned into a 7-6 nail-biter. 1-1 pitch inside, 2-1. You do, though, have one of the great closers in the game, in Kenley Jansen, on the other side for the Red Sox, should Boston need him. A look at second by Eisert, 2-1. Bounce, 3-1.
Couple of series in a row now where the Blue Jays are facing teams that have very, very strong bullpens and very strong closers, between Clase for the Guardians and now Kenley Jansen with the Red Sox.
You go Clase, Jansen, Clay Holmes at the end of the month. So probably not a lot of ninth inning comebacks in the books coming up. 3-1 pitches high. That'll be a 2-out walk, second walk in a row issued by Eisert. Here comes the top of the order, but it is a left-on-left matchup with Jarren Duran.
He's had some pretty good locations with the slider, low and glove side for him, but it's been the fastballs that have been missing quite a bit up in the zone. If he can locate those more for strikes, 1, I think it's going to make the slider look even better, and 2, you're going to get some of those calls. But because he's so far out of the zone, at the top of the zone, he's not getting some of those marginal calls his way.
First pitch misses outside to Jarren Duran, 1-0. First and second, 2 outs, top of the 8th, 7-3 Red Sox over Blue Jays. Duran's 1 for 4, singled and scored in the 7th. 1-0. Swing and a soft bouncer to second, fielded by Schneider. He'll throw out Duran and end the inning. A scoreless frame for Eisert in his major league debut. Scatters a hit and 2 walks, leaves 2 on, keeps it 7-3. Going to the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
When Blue Jays starter Kevin Gossman is on the mound, you hear a lot of pops at Rogers Center. The pop of the ball hitting the catcher's mitt. The pop of the crowd as they cheer on another Gossman strikeout. But most importantly for Goss, the pop of his bubble gum.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the splitter again. One of the best at his craft.
Gossman loves his gum. So be one of the first 15,000 fans on Wednesday, July 3rd, and get your Kevin Gossman bubblegum bobblehead. Get your tickets at BlueJays.com.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop-on-the-bandwagon fan. We're the in-it-for-the-long-haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
Summer is about to sizzle. Wow! City TV has the brand new season of America's Got Talent.
We've never seen anything like this before.
Watch them go for gold.
That was sensational!
We weren't expecting that. On the hunt for the next superstar.
Everything that you think there's no way to top it, this season tops it.
America's Got Talent. All new Tuesdays, 8/7 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
A drive to deep center field. Trout at the wall and watches it sail.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. Bottom of the 8th inning here in the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. First arm out of the Red Sox bullpen, Brad Keller. The veteran enters for Boston with the Red Sox up 7-3. Keller's pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. starts him off with 95 for strike one.
With Keller, you're going to see a lot of those four-seam fastballs coming in, 94, 95. A lot of sliders as well that he'll throw right around 86 miles per hour.
0-1 pitch is the slider, misses outside.
Vladdy's had some really good swings on fastballs. I have really liked his at-bats that he's had, even though he might not get the results.
Swing and a liner, right field. Off the end of the bat, it'll drop into the glove of Rob Refsnyder. Guerrero goes to 1 for 4.
Again, that's one that he just gets off the end of the bat, but I think that he's got a really good approach in the pitches that he's choosing to swing at and the swings that he's taking on those pitches. It's really difficult as a batter when you have a good approach and you have a good swing and you don't get the results. You almost want to try to do more to hit the ball out of the park, but I think he's in a pretty good spot with the way that he's swinging the bat tonight.
First pitch to Dalton Varsho, called strike one. He's 0 for 3. Over on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Boston Celtics still up in the second quarter. It's 43-30 for the Celtics, who are just a couple quarters away from their 18th NBA title. Next pitch outside to Varsho, 1-1. Out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 1-1 pitch is hammered foul into the camera well past the first base dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. For Brad Keller, he's pitching with his second team this season. Signed a minor league deal with the White Sox, started the year at AAA, but made the major league roster end of April. Pitched out of the pen to start his White Sox tenure. Righty winds and delivers. Pitch called a ball. It was right on the corner. Probably should have been strike 3, but it's 2-2.
Dalton Varsho is going to take that one if it's called for a ball, but that was very, very close. I feel like we've said that several times today on those pitches low in the zone.
It's been a tight zone, 2-2. That one definitely down and in, full count. So for Keller, he starts the year with the White Sox. They move Mike Soroka, the Canadian, out of the rotation, give Keller a start in his spot. Looks like he's going to make the rotation. After one start, they release him. 3-2 pitch is lifted to shallow left center. Shortstop Gonzalez out on the turf makes the catch. 2 outs. Gave up 5 runs in 4 innings, but to the Yankees, and they DFA him. Signed a major league deal with the Red Sox on May 26th and has pitched out of the pen for Boston ever since. Here's Justin Turner. 2 outs, base is empty. Bottom of the 8th, 7-3 Red Sox over Blue Jays. Turner 2 for 2 with a walk, a double, and a homer. First pitch, called strike 1.
Justin Turner not happy with that one being called for a strike. That's the same part of the zone now, just to a right-handed batter that has not been called for a strike, and a very favorable one towards Keller there.
Next pitch up and into Turner. He ducks out of the way, 1-1. Infield shifted to the pole. Gonzalez, the shortstop, deep in the hole as the 1-1's cut on and missed. Turner late on the high fastball, 1-2. Fans trying to rally the Blue Jays. 1-2. Down and away.
A lot of pitches on the outside part of the plate here to Turner, both fastballs and then that slider missing way low and outside. And you and I were talking before the game just how close Justin Turner is to the plate when he gets set up in that batter's box.
2-2. Bounce to the plate. Ball 3. Few crowd the plate like Turner.
He is putting his toes right on that chalk line, if not over the chalk line just a little bit, almost as if he's baiting pitchers to throw it inside to him.
3-2 pitch. Spoiled foul behind the plate.
But it also makes some of those outside pitches look more down the middle because of how far on the plate he is. And of course, you are susceptible to those pitches inside, but if he can get his hands tucked in enough, he can be able to cover the inside part of that strike zone as well.
3-2. Line to left, but that one will hang up. Durant stutter steps and makes the catch to end the inning. Turner retired for the first time today. 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th. We go to the 9th with the Red Sox up 7-3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by our local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey friends, Ted Danson here, and I want to let you know about my new podcast. It's called Where Everybody Knows Your Name, with me, Ted Danson, and Woody Harrelson. Sometimes. Doing this podcast is a chance for me and my good bud Woody to reconnect after Cheers wrapped 30 years ago. Plus, we're introducing each other to the friends we've met like Jane Fonda, Conan O'Brien, Eric Andre, and trust me, it's always a great hang when Woody's there.
Listen to Where Everybody Knows Your Name on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
No stone.
9th inning in Toronto, 7-3 Red Sox over Blue Jays. Welcome back to Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Brandon Eisert in his Major League debut starts his second inning of work and starts up Rob Refsnyder with strike 1. This is quite the test in your second Major League inning. Refsnyder, O'Neill, Devers, 2-3-4 for the Red Sox. 0-1. High, 1-1.
Especially with the days that all three of them have had so far. Refsnyder off to a bit of a rough start with those 3 strikeouts on the road, but had a really nice double down to right field. The 2 home runs for O'Neill and Devers with a solo shot.
Also a sac fly for Devers. 1-1. Check swing. Pitch was low. That was the slider. 2-1. Blue Jays, though, will need to manage the bullpen very efficiently over the next bit. Jimmy Garcia placed on the 15-day injured list today. 2-1. Check swing on a pitch just inside. Appeal to first. No swing, says Roberto Ortiz. 3 balls, 1 strike. Eisert works from the first base side of the rubber. He twists and delivers. Inside, ball 4. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Leadoff walk. Refsnyder down to first. And the pitch to Tyler O'Neill. Slide step and strike 1.
Not what you wanted there. The leadoff walk to Ref Snyder now puts a runner on base for Tyler O'Neill with the way that he's been swinging the bat today. Luckily for the Blue Jays, both of his home runs are solo shots.
Well, one pitch outside, 1-1. 4 solo home runs for the Red Sox in the first 3 innings. And then 3 runs since. 1 in the 4th and 2 in the 7th. The 1-1. Bounce foul, 1-2. O'Neill 2 for 2 with a pair of homers. Also has a ground out and an intentional walk. 2 for 3 on the day. Well-built DH outfielder. Faces a 1-2. It's high. He's the designated hitter today, but he is a talented outfielder. Has played all 3 spots in his major league career and won a Gold Glove. He'll ask for time. He's actually won 2 Gold Gloves in left field.
Now, speaking of the outfield, I find it interesting where the Blue Jays outfield is playing him. Kevin Kiermaier on the right field side, almost towards right center. But the infield playing completely to pull. But he hits majority of his balls to the pull side.
2-2 pitch, hit on the ground up the middle at Schneider. Backhanded flip to IKF1. Throw over to second. Double play, and that's just what Isert needed after the leadoff walk.
And the infield perfectly positioned for him to be out in front and get that one off the end of the bat. Straight to Davis Schneider, who's playing, like you said, right up the middle. An easy flip over to short. An easy 4-6-3 double play. And with him pulling the ball that much, I was surprised that the outfield wasn't playing to pull as well, but it works out for a double play. Couldn't have scripted it any better.
So now Isert has the bases empty. 2 down as he pitches to Rafael Devers. Misses outside, 1-0. This is quite the guy to face in your major league debut. Devers, a .283 hitter, 14 home runs, 38 RBIs, and on-base plus slugging in the 930s. 1-0. Swing and a hot shot to second. Gobbled up on 2 hops by Schneider. He'll throw over to first. And end the inning. 2 scoreless frames in the major league debut of Brandon Isert. He walked 1 this inning but got a double play, then another ground out. And he sends us to the bottom of the 9th. Blue Jays need 4 to keep this game going. 7-3, the Red Sox lead. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizzapizza.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Sprinting back, Varsho curling at the track. He leaps, and he made the catch!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control. Jays trailed the Red Sox 7-3 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning at the Rogers Center. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. Blair and Barker have the post-game show. They will take your calls. Jeff will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. He's down there at the Dome. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Jays trail 7-3, bottom 9 at the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Schulman and Madison Shipman with the call.
Thank you very much, Joe. Brad Keller out for a second inning of work. First pitch to George Springer. Hit foul, 0-1. Non-save situation, so Alex Cora deciding to keep Keller in. Right-handed reliever in his second inning of work after a 1-2-3-8. Next pitch to Springer is hit high in the air, medium depth left field. Calling for it with his glove hand, Duran. He'll make the catch, and there's 1 out.
Springer goes after a slider there. Just doesn't get good barrel on it. Almost seemed like he got jammed up on that slider up and inside. Fouled off that 4-seam fastball. That's the pitch that he would love to get back. middle away, just got underneath it, and then gets jammed up on the slider for out number 1.
First pitch to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, low, 1-0. Pretty solid day at the plate for IKF. Sac fly, single, 1-0. High, 2-0. And then in the 6th inning, he stung a ball to the left side, but Romy Gonzalez leaped back toward left field. The shortstop took a hit away, 2-0. Inside out's the ball down the right field line. This is going to be trouble, but on the run, it's caught by Rob Refsnyder, and the Blue Jays are down to their final out. Here comes Ernie Clement.
Yeah, that swing right there by IKF, definitely his most awkward swing of the day. He had some really good swings earlier in the day. Snake bitten a couple of times, just hitting it straight to defenders, but that pitch was up and inside, a four-seam fastball that he actually somehow inside-outed and hit the opposite direction.
First pitch to Clement, skips to the backstop, 1-0.
Those are sometimes the swings that we talk about when it comes to the swing decisions where you're going after a pitch but not putting the right swing on it. That right there was a prime example. That's something that should be drilled down the left field line.
1-0 pitch down, 2-0. Blue Jays down 7-3, 2 outs, bases empty, bottom 9. Clement 2 for 3, the pitch. Swing and a chopper, headed up the middle, and it's through into left center. 3-hit day, Ernie Clement, and he extends the game.
And so far in today's ball game, I think Ernie Clement has done a great job of just hitting it where it's pitched and not trying to do too much with the pitches. He's very aggressive. He's going to swing hard, but it doesn't look like he's trying to yank it out of the ballpark on every swing. And that one, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball pretty much straight down the middle that he hits for a ground ball base hit out to center field.
First pitch to Kevin Kiermaier, down and in. Ball 1. Clement has multiple hits in each of his last 4 starts. Big lead off first. Looks like he's going to try and take second here as he's not being held on. He'll take off on the next pitch. It's high, 2-0, and he takes second on defensive indifference.
And the way that Ernie's been swinging the bat, he's making it really difficult for John Schneider to keep him out of the lineup. By far the hottest bat in the Blue Jays lineup, I'd say.
Picked up Toronto's 10th hit of the night. 2-0 to Kiermaier. Foul tipped. Blue Jays looking for base runners down 7-3. If they can get Kiermaier on and one more runner, then you bring the tying run to the plate. Keller looks back at second. One more peek. And the 2-1. High and outside, 3-1. A bit surprised Keller's even paying attention to Ernie Clement, to be honest, with his team up 4 runs, 2 outs in the 9th.
Now, if you're on the mound right now, you've just got to be focusing on the pitches to Kevin Kiermaier, especially him in the 9 spot. You do not want to flip the order back over to the top.
3-1. Kiermaier will take, and it's ball 4. Looks decent on the outside edge, but the Blue Jays get the benefit of the call. Kiermaier down to first, and I think that this is going to force Kenley Jansen into the game. Alex Cora walking onto the field. 2 outs recorded by Keller to start the 9th, but a single and a walk bring the top of the order up, have put the tying run on deck, and one of the most prolific closers in the history of Major League Baseball makes his way down the bullpen steps and out of the right field door. Keller off the field. Let's go back to baseball control. Here's today's host, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we check the out-of-town scoreboard, don't forget we do have Jays Talk coming up after this one. Blair and Barker have the post-game show. They will take your calls. Jeff will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out at the Dome. All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. The early returns for MLB All-Star voting are in. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading all AL first basemen in votes. Orioles' Ryan Mountcastle, he's in second place. He's trailing by about 50,000 votes. It sounds like a lot, but if you do want to ensure that he or any other Blue Jays make it to the All-Star game in Texas next month, you can vote at bluejays.com/vote. The NBA Finals on tonight. The Dallas Mavericks forcing a Game 5 in Boston. Game 5 on right now. Currently, halftime, 67-46. The Boston Celtics lead. Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla saying pregame that there are no minutes limitations on Kristaps Porzingis despite the tendon injury. So we'll see how much he continues to play. The UEFA European Championship as well continues, otherwise, of course, known as the Euros. They are officially underway. So yesterday, the Netherlands and England both winning. Slovenia, Denmark was a 1-1 draw. And today, all the games are final. Romania beating Ukraine 3-0. Slovakia beating Belgium 1-0. And France beating Austria 1-0 as well. Tomorrow, we'll get Georgia, Turkey, and Czechia, Portugal. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back down to the Rogers Center. Jays trail 7-3 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Here's Ben Schulman and Madison Shipman.
Thank you very much, Joe. This 6'5", 265-pound right-hander from Curacao, Kenley Jansen, is on the mound for the Red Sox. 6th all-time in Major League Baseball history in saves with 431, second active, only behind Craig Kimbrell. He takes the mound here needing 1 out to pick up his 432nd career save.
And if you're Davis Schneider here, you're going to see a heavy dose of those cutters. He likes to throw that pitch up in the zone 2, an area where Davis Schneider has a tendency to chase. Got to try to be disciplined, make him bring it into the zone.
Jansen kicks and fires. Swing and a pop-up into the seats, 0-1. The job for Schneider, get on base by hook or crook. First and second, 2 outs. The tying run's on deck, so if Schneider can get aboard here, Danny Jansen can tie this game with a big swing. Clement on second, Kiermaier on first after a hit and walk respectively. 2 outs, 7-3 Red Sox, bottom 9. Jansen kicks and delivers. High with the cutter, gets a huge break to make it 0-2. After a small zone all night, one of the first expansions by Emil Jimenez all day.
Up and away, and this one looked like a ball, clearly. Fans not happy about that call. I'd imagine Davis Schneider not happy about it either.
Down to their final strike. The pitch to Schneider. Fouled off.
A pitch pretty much in the exact same location, but he was not about to leave that one in the umpire's hand, so he takes a big, healthy cut at that pitch.
Schneider 1 for 4. Solo home run in the 7th, his 9th of the year, and the most recent Blue Jay run. (0-2). Way high. No debate there. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Blue Jays have trailed since the 3rd batter of the game with Tyler O'Neill. And Rafael Devers went back-to-back in the first. 4 home runs in 3 innings off Yusei Kikuchi. Jansen rears back, fires. Runners take off. And the pitch is high. 2-2. I believe they'll say defensive indifference again, but it does eliminate some forces. It's now 2nd and 3rd.
Well, no surprise the Blue Jays trying to be aggressive there. Kenley Jansen has that very long, slow delivery. Do whatever you can to get both runners over into scoring position.
Single could score 2. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a pop-up. Foul territory, but playable for the first baseman, Dahlbeck. Steps back, fair, avoids Schneider, and makes the catch to end the game. The Blue Jays threaten in the 9th, but big swings by the Red Sox separated this one early. 7-3. Boston wins the opener of the series.
Red Sox jumped out early on Yusei Kikuchi. It was Tyler O'Neill having that great day with a couple of home runs. Rafael Devers with a home run back in the first inning. Nobody really on base, so they were all solo shots, but because they were consistently hitting the ball hard no matter what Yusei Kikuchi was throwing out there, they went off to the early lead, and the Blue Jays were never able to quite crawl back despite some great effort in that 9th inning.
Blue Jays lose 7-3. We will wrap this one up on the other side and get you over to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bases loaded. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Strike three.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. The Blue Jays lose the series opener to the Boston Red Sox. They fall 7-3 in Game 1 of 3. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Madison, Yusei Kikuchi getting the start today for the Blue Jays on his 33rd birthday, but after 2 strikeouts to start the game, it was a bumpy one for Kikuchi. 2 homers in the first, 2 homers in the third. They added on another in the fourth. It really just seemed like the Red Sox saw something they liked against the left-hander.
It really felt like they were a pitch ahead of what Kikuchi was throwing. It was almost like they were anticipating when he was going to go to the fastball, when he was going to go to some of his breaking pitches, and they were on time for pretty much everything. And they were very disciplined in the zone, too, forcing him to bring those fastballs into the strike zone. And even at times when they were in pitcher leverage counts, they were getting some pretty good swings off of Kikuchi.
On the other side, Canadian Nick Pivetta starts for the 14th time against the Blue Jays. They did get 9 hits and 3 runs against Pivetta, but he went 7 innings in the game.
It felt like Pivetta got the big strikeouts when he needed it. Every time that the Blue Jays started to get a little bit of something rolling, they'd either hit a ground ball to the infield or they'd get the big strikeout to all of a sudden get all the momentum back on the Red Sox side. And Nick Pivetta going out there for 7 innings, having one of his best starts of the season.
Justin Turner did have a big day against Pivetta with a double, a homer, also walked and scored a homer for Davis Schneider, but it was the other Canadian, not Pivetta, but rather Tyler O'Neill, who was today's player of the game. O'Neill made a big impact to be the player of the game. 2-2. Swing and a fly ball deep left field. Forget about that one. Tyler O'Neill with a second deck shot to left field. Claps for the Canadian, who goes way out of here for a first-inning solo home run. 1-1. Swing and another deep fly ball left center. Varsho going back at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Home runs in both of his at-bats so far. Tyler O'Neill is putting on a clinic.
Tyler O'Neill taking a really good cut in a 2-strike count in that first at-bat that he had off of Kikuchi with 2 outs. And it's a fastball low and inside, and he just hammers it out to left field. His next at-bat, he comes up in a pretty good hitter's count and hits a Kikuchi changeup. So that just tells you that he is seeing the ball extremely well out of the hand of Kikuchi, who's had a pretty good season so far for the Blue Jays. But today, the Red Sox had his number top to bottom in the order, and they just continued to pour on runs as the game went on, and the game got out of reach for the Blue Jays, even though they tried to get a couple of runners on base in the 9th inning, but weren't able to come through with that big hit when they needed it.
O'Neill with his 13th and 14th home runs of the season to keep pace with Rafael Devers, who homered as well. They're both tied for the Red Sox team lead, and the Red Sox win 7-3. 7 runs for Boston on 11 hits, no errors, 6 left. 3 runs on 10 hits, 1 error. Kevin Kiermaier's bobble in center field in the 4th. 7 left on base for the Blue Jays. For Nick Pivetta, it's a win to get to 500. He's 4-4. Yusei Kikuchi goes to 4-6 with the loss. Because of the late traffic, they called on the closer Kenley Jansen, who picked up his 12th save of the year, 432nd of his career. This one took 2 hours and 43 minutes in front of a crowd of just under 30,000 at Rogers Center, and the Blue Jays miss out on a chance to get to 500. They go to 35-37. Red Sox move up to 38-35. Blue Jays have an opportunity to even up the series tomorrow, though. Chris Bassett will take the mound for Toronto. Tanner Houck and his ERA just above 2 goes for the Red Sox. Another 7:07 first pitch. Hope to see you there and appreciate you tuning in tonight. For our technical directors, Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our host and producer, Show Ali, and my partner, Madison Shipman, I'm Ben Schulman. Have a good night and get your thoughts heard. Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right for 4.
in the search for 500. And as we've said, before you plan anything or look ahead, I think getting to 500 is probably a good start. The numbers, as always, 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. So, Kevin Barker, where do you want to start tonight? Much discussion before the game, of course, about John Schneider's lineup. John Schneider electing to go with Justin Turner and George Springer in the lineup, leaving Spencer Horwitz and Addison Barger out of the lineup, 2 left-handed bats against Nick Pivetta. John Schneider saying he wanted to go because of the experience factor against Pivetta. I mean, it certainly worked in the case of Justin Turner. He had himself a good offensive performance tonight. George Springer, well, we've seen that before from George Springer, to say the least. But, Kevin, I guess we'll start our discussion. 4 home runs given up in 3 innings by Yusei Kikuchi. It's kind of the way he runs into trouble, isn't it? Just missing location with his pitches.
Yeah, I think so. I think the missed spots from the fastball, right? The velocity on the fastball is pretty consistent. I mean, when he's throwing that hard, if he just has a consistent release point with the secondary stuff, normally he's on point and he can give you, a decent start and at least give that lineup a chance. But, it looked to me like he was aiming the secondary stuff a little bit too much to change up against certain guys like the O'Neill homer, the second one off the change up that was up and away. Looked like he was more aiming that instead of, basically that's a grip it and rip it pitch, right? I want to just grip it, set the lane and have a good release point. You have that. Most of the time because of how hard you throw, and most lefties you see don't throw that hard, you usually get people out. O'Neill coming in tonight is hitting 320 off left and slugging 600. So you knew you had to make really good pitches no matter what the count was. And if you didn't, because he looked very comfortable and was getting to a consistent finish against those lefties, that he might be hard to get out. So, it's sort of like what Kevin said. After the game, it was basically if the rotation is not coming out and dominating and at least letting that lineup have a chance to have the big inning, most of the time they lose. And, it was a little bit of that situation. Some of the at-bats, Jeff, you got to be honest, were better, right? I mean, the Schneider hanging sweeper, I mean, he should hit that thing out 10 times out of 10. You mentioned Turner, right? It just looked to me like it was freer and easier. He wasn't trying to force getting to the location with the barrel. I don't know why that is. I mean, his swing looks sort of the same way. Maybe he's getting started a little sooner. And Ernie Clement, look, he just looks like he's going out there and is getting soft toss in a batting cage. I mean, it'd be hard-pressed to say that John Snyder's not going to continue to run him out there. So, you had some at-bats that were kind of nice to watch, but it is just those big-time innings, right? It's like that second inning where they're trying to do some things, and KK comes up and strikes out, and, Davis Schneider, and they try and double steal, which I like that move. That's what you have to do, right? Coming in, I think Davis Schneider was hitting somewhere in the 167 range in June. Like, he'd had some ups and downs in June. You tried to push the envelope, put pressure on a bad defense. I would like to see Ernie get a little bit bigger lead. It's not so much a jump. It's more of a lead for me, especially when you're the trail runner. Most of the time they're paying attention to the lead runner, not the trail guy. But, it is what it is. This is sort of rinse and repeat, right? It's hopefully they have a good start. Hopefully the offense has a big inning. If they don't, even against the Red Sox, most of the time you're going to lose those games.
Yeah, the Jays did get home runs from Justin Turner and Davis Schneider. But you are right. There are a couple of crucial at-bats in that game. Kevin Kiermaier striking out with in the second inning, and frankly Ernie Clement as well. Now he had runners on the corners when he came up and flew out to center field. But I mean, not to take anything away from what Ernie Clement did tonight, because he was.
He's not a run producer, Jeff.
Exactly, he's not a run producer. He's a bit of a table setter.
Absolutely.
Such as it is. And Kevin Kiermaier hit into another double play in the seventh inning as well. Nick Pivetta, we did a lot of talk before the game, talked to Jonathan Papelbon. Lots of talk about how the Red Sox are approaching pitching this year. Their philosophy seems to rely less on fastballs and more on spin. What did you make of Nick Pivetta tonight? Anything Anything surprising, anything you read into what his pitch selection was against the Blue Jays? We talked about Logan Allen the other night. What was it, 52 of 84 pitches, 91, 92 mile-an-hour fastball, showing no respect to the Blue Jays hitters. Did you read anything into what you saw from Nick Pivetta tonight?
Yeah, I think Nick Pavetta's a fastball up because of the spin is deceptive, right? I mean, it's 93, 94. It's not like he's throwing 99 to 100. I just think that sort of sneaky gets on hitters. You know, you got to be ready to hit. Then he feeds sort of the sweeper off of that. I don't really get the cutter. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. You know, I think he'd be more apt to throw the slider a little bit more than the cutter, but I get the gist. He's trying to take the sting out of the barrel. You know, his bread and butter seems to be the elevated four-seamer and the sweeper. And, you know, it's just the swing decisions for the Jays very sloppy, Jeff. Like it's, you know, some at bats it's on point, and it looks like, you know, they sort of have the exact right plan and they're executing it. And then there's other times where they go up and it looks just the opposite of that. So, you know, it's very hard, Jeff, to come on here and go, was it Nick or was it the lineup?
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Always the lineup to be.
Yeah, well, like it's just that, like I said, those swing decisions, and we've had John on our show a bazillion times, and when I ask him a question about a certain hitter, he always leads with swing decisions. Like it's this deep in the season ain't mechanics anymore. It's about what you don't swing at, right? If I ain't chasing the pitcher's pitch, allow him to throw me one down the middle, probably good things are going to happen. If I don't allow him to do that, then it's sort of going to turn into looking the way it's been looking. So, yeah, it's very hard. Like I wish I could give you a better answer, but he had a good sweeper. He had a sneaky heater at the top of the zone. It did the job.
Ken, let's talk a little bit about the Red Sox lineup. Much discussion, of course, coming into tonight's game. They stole 9 of 10 bases against the New York Yankees. We know this is a lineup. It's kind of been pieced together right now. They're without 3 key contributors. Got some young guys. We've got some veteran guys. You've got guys like Rob Refsnyder who are just filling in roles. But, you know, you watch the way they go about their business, and you really see why they are, like, the 3 games over 500 isn't a great deal, although, quite frankly, in the American League these days, it gets you pretty damn close to a wild card spot. But you kind of get the sense of how they have beaten some good teams lately, don't you, when you watch them? The way they attack pitchers and just their approach.
Yeah,
there's an athleticism in almost everything they do.
Yeah, well, they can hit velocity. You can tell that, right? They got a couple of behemoths in the middle of the order, and O'Neill and Devers, who can, you know, get the scoreboard headed in the right direction for their team because of what they can do with hitting the ball in the seats. They have speed if they need that. I mean, it was 5-1 through 4 innings, right? You didn't think the running game was going to be a big factor after that, right? It's the close games when you get the fast dudes on that's the way they can create havoc and put pressure on a catcher and a pitcher to sort of try and control that, right? Slide step and holding the ball a little longer. Most pitchers aren't good at that. So, yeah, look, if I'd have told you, Jeff, at the beginning of the season when me and you were talking about, you know, the division and everybody was picking the Red Sox to be in last place, if June 17th they were 3 games above 500, you'd call me nuts. You'd say you were smoking that good stuff, buddy. But this is sort of what it is, right? They bought into an approach with their pitching staff, with the spinning that thing and the throwing the fastballs at the right time and in the right location. It's not so much about the velocity as it is about the location. And then you got those 2 dudes in the middle of the order, and they're sort of, you know, hiding the defensive woes by the way they can steal bases. And they got a real savvy manager. Like, you could just tell he's got everything figured out before it actually happens. And you can tell they got a lot of confidence. When he is walking or talking, everybody you can tell on that team is not doing anything but watching what he's doing, and that'll just tell you he's got control of everything, and they sort of are headed in the right direction. That's why, I mean, you got that little mini argument today on our show, and I said they need to go out and do something. I mean, at least gain some momentum going into the next season, because the team looks decent. Like, they got some pieces here that they could add to and gain a little confidence and learn how to win at the big league level. That's what it's all about. Sometimes you need that veteran presence to sort of show you how to do it, to add to the O'Neills and the Devers of the world. So maybe we'll see that. Who knows?
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-866-0590. It's the first of 3 games between the Jays and the Red Sox at the Rogers Center. Boston winning 7-3. Daryl in Cambridge, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, Kevin. How are you guys tonight?
Good, thanks.
Doing well.
Good. I'm getting a little bit sick of stupid managerial decisions. Every time you seem to get on a little bit of a winning streak, they win 2 games in a row. I was at the game yesterday. Barger and Horowitz are playing great, and then I was like, oh, you know what? We're going to sit them out the next game. They need a break. They're young. Keep Springer out of the lineup, for Pete's sake, and keep Kirk out of the lineup. And start playing guys that are actually getting on base and doing something, not like Mendoza line guys. It's brutal. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, Daryl, I appreciate the call. I cannot disagree with that. Again, Justin Turner obviously worked out tonight. We've talked about George Springer ad nauseum, and I mean, he's making a lot of money. He's here for another couple of years. That shouldn't matter as far as I'm concerned, but clearly it matters to somebody. Yeah. Because and we spent a lot of time talking about George Springer, but I've also got to say this: Kevin Kiermaier is not doing much for me offensively either. Now,
it's not hitting the fastball.
Great defenders, both of them great defenders, but they're at that stages of their careers where this probably isn't a fluke. This is probably telling you a little bit about both of those guys, about where they are in their careers, and I just don't know. I mean, I don't know how John Schneider plays this. We've gone back and forth about this on our show. We've talked to other people about it. Short of benching George Springer, I don't know what you do. I hit him 9th. Again, he's giving you defense. But yeah, it's his at bats are a tough watch. They really are a tough watch, and I'm getting the impression that he thinks they're a tough watch too, watching his reaction to some things, which is never a good sign.
Yeah, Jeff, it's not easy to feel that way at the plate. I felt that way. Like I was, didn't get the opportunities to get myself out of it like he's doing at the big league level. I was in AAA or AA. But yeah, look, I don't know the right answer to that. I mean, we've had this conversation till we're blue in the face. I know what I'd do. I mean, I wouldn't play him every day. That would be the gist of this thing, right? Maybe that would be better for him. Like maybe his at-bats would get better. Maybe it would be, a mental ease of just not having to worry about showing up every day and trying to figure out how to contribute offensively. I guess you can give him credit for the way he plays defense because he's not carrying his offense to the defensive side. But, don't you think, Jeff, if they're ever going to get to 500, maybe they have to do it with not George playing every single day? I would think that's sort of where we're at now, right?
I mean, at this stage, in a lot of ways, there's a little bit of opportunity here, too, because, again, it doesn't look like that wild card spot's running away from them. And, yes, it is. My God almighty, it's June 17th, and we're talking about the wild card. I feel like slapping myself in the face. But, the fact of the matter is the way the league looks so far, it's not as if it's running away from them. It's not as if it's necessarily getting away from them. So what the hell? Let's see Horowitz and Barger. Why not? If it doesn't work, you can change course in. But I'll tell you what, I'd rather see that, and I absolutely guarantee you, fans would rather see that than George Springer and Kevin Kiermaier. They just would.
Yeah, I think they got to figure out how to not go 6-4. 6-4 is not 4-6, but I think they got to figure out a way to go like 9-1, or at the very least 8-2. Do you think you can do it with the Turners and the Springers and the Kiermaiers in the lineup at the same time? I just think that might be a tough thing to do.
Lineup. Yeah, it's a 30-year lineup.
Yeah,
that is really. It's a third of your lineup that's underperforming, coupled with the issues we've talked about with Bo Bichette. So basically you're talking about, and if you want to throw the catchers in when Kirky's in there, you're talking about a half your lineup. I don't care. I don't care who the hell the manager is. you're not going to win with that. You're just not. Let's go to Ryan in Innisfil. You're on Blue Jays Talk.
How we doing, fellas?
Well, you know,
As
rinse
good
and
as we can
repeat,
be,
my
I guess,
friend.
yeah?
Rinse and repeat.
No, exactly. I have 2 points today. The first one I want to bring up is kind of about Tim Meza. It's hurting me right now to see what Tim Meza is and what he's becoming. I don't think that this is the Tim Meza that it is. As you guys were saying last week, like maybe there's an injury or something like that. I don't know how many options he has left on his contract, but I feel like he should be sent down to AAA and we should try some of the other garbage we have down there just in the meantime while he gets his stuff together a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not fair to him to keep running him out there and just destroy his confidence, you know. Just let him go build it back up in AAA and let him get healthy again. And then second, this team hasn't looked that bad without Bo Bichette, like, at all. At all. And I really wouldn't mind seeing him go and just giving Vladdy the money that he deserves. I love Bo. Don't call me a Bo hater again. You called me that last time. I love Bo. He's awesome. But I think it's time to move on from that guy. Thank you, boys.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, Tim Meza, thank you for mentioning that because we were about to go there next too, Kevin. Look, tonight, obviously they're shorthanded. Well, not shorthanded, but they put Jimmy Garcia in the IL. They had Brandon Eisert up here. We've talked about how guys are going to have to step up and change roles and assume more of a load, considering that closer 1 and closer 1A are not available. I think you hit the nail on the head about Tim Meza a while ago. I just don't think that stuff plays anymore. I mean, people have seen too much of it. I mean, he's pitched a lot, and I'm not by any stretch am I taking anything away from Tim Meza. They hand him the ball, he goes out and pitches. And I think he gives you whatever he's gotten that day. I don't think he's hurt. I think this organization, and frankly, I think this pitching coach and manager have way too much respect for Tim Meza to send him out there hurt.
Absolutely.
It's just not it's not working anymore. He's throwing he's not an overpowering guy. He's throwing a lot of pitches over the course of the past 3 years. He's throwing a lot of innings. Everybody's seen a lot of his stuff. Everybody in this division's seen him repeatedly. But tonight I think you almost, I don't know where else he would have gone. Maybe Genesis Cabrera instead, but I mean,
it sounds like Cabrera's getting it more when they're closer to taking the lead.
Yes.
Not when they're as behind as they were when Tim came in. Right. We talk about the velocity with Tim Meza, right? How important at least the sort of the mile and a half more added to his sinker, which would allow him to get away with some stinker sliders. Now that, he's sort of throwing more 91s than 94s and the sinker's elevated, that's why you see it starting to get hammered, and he's trying to choke the slider off a little bit more because he knows he's not throwing as hard, so he wants it to spin and break better. That's why they're more non-competitive. So you see sort of more hitters counts. You see the sinker up when the sinker's up with hitters counts with a guy that don't throw as hard or hard enough. You sort of see what the outcome is. So, I don't even know, right, if he's sort of the service time that he has, I don't even know if you could send him down. So, again, this is sort of one of those things where, the betterment of the team, what do you do? Like, I think they're running out of situations to bring him into. That's the thing, right? There's not too many games they can run him out there against the Red Sox when they're only losing by 3 or 4 runs. You still got an opportunity, even though it was in the 6th inning. So,
those 2 runs. Look, I mean that ninth inning is a lot different if it's 5-3 compared to 7-3. I'm not saying it turns out any different, but there's a different tenor to it. Suddenly, first of all, you're probably seeing Kenley Jansen in to start the inning to begin with, but 5-3 you got your chances. 5-3 you got a chance, and I don't know, maybe you start to take some guys off the bench at that point. I mean, again, those 2 runs really kind of sucked the life out, because it looked for a while like the Jays were going to kind of hang around and pick away at things, but then you get 2 runs in the 7th inning, and it's 7-2 at that point. 5 runs is a lot for these guys to overcome.
Jeff,
it really is.
It's a little bit. It's like the body language too. You talked about George Springer, right? Whenever he's getting out, and the sort of the expectation of the look that he's going to get out before he actually walks to the plate. I mean, Tim Mesa all the time doesn't look like he's a ball of energy and running around the mound, but he really doesn't look like this sort of Tim Mesa, right? And I think body language is a big deal. I know when I played that was huge. I used to be told all the time by teammates, your body language tells a lot of who's running the team, a lot about how you're doing. So, again, it's just sometimes you got to make tough decisions. And I would think sooner than later, because, Tim's been a big deal for this organization for a very, very long time. So you don't want to disrespect that. But you also have to think about the team and think about the manager and how you're supposed to use certain guys. And now you don't have your key arms at the back end. You don't want to be forced to use a guy because you ain't got nobody else. So this is where, as a manager and a GM, you got to get together and figure out what you're going to do. And again, this gets back to that Kevin Gausman comment. The pitching basically is going to take this team where they're ultimately going to end up. And you got to have every guy raring and ready to go when John hands the ball to him. And raise your hand if you think right now Tim Mays is the guy you want to hand the ball to.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm with you completely. As far as the Bo Bichette element of that question, I mean, I've said this, I've written this. And my feeling is they will probably hang on to them through the year, take one more run at signing them, or at least try to figure out which of the two they can sign, and then maybe in the offseason move on from the other guy. Looking at attendance and some of the other things at work here, I just don't know. I don't know how this fan base would take moving one of those two, because to me, I think fans would see that as punting on the season. And I just don't know if you can do that in this market. I really don't. And we've talked about this. You've made your point, and you are right. If you trade one of the two at this trade deadline, you're going to get more than you would get if you waited until the offseason, because the acquiring team is getting the guy for 2 postseason runs. Or if you want to look at another way, the acquiring team is also given extra time to try to figure out whether they can work out a long-term deal with the team. Maybe a team like, a team like LA trades for Bo goes off. Maybe LA says, shoot, let's sign this guy. Let's sit down and sign this guy. So there's an aspect of that, but it doesn't feel like that is probable right now. It just doesn't, and maybe during the trade deadline it'll feel a little different, or maybe, quite frankly, Kevin, it could just be that I just have a hard time imagining this team without both Bo and Vladdy in the lineup. And again, it'd be sad if this organization isn't able to take advantage of having these two guys. And to me, as a baseball fan, as someone who's followed this team, that's sad.
Yeah, it's almost like you're adding on to wasting a really good rotation.
Yep.
That's sort of the way. I think you got to, if you're the GM and the president, you got to go to both and see who wants to stay here. Like, I think that's where you start. And if one of them.
Surely you would know. Surely they would know by now.
Maybe. I have no idea. Like, I'm not even going to act like I would know the answer.
No,
to
I
that.
wouldn't either.
But I would think that's the first thing you would have to figure out. And if you find out before the trade deadline that one of the two, is not really wanting to stay here, then you trade him. Like, you pull that Band-Aid off as fast as you can pull it. You get what you can get for him. And then maybe you turn around and sign the one that wants to stay here. That's how you would make fans happy, is you trade one, you get some really good pieces for him, and then you turn right back around and you sign the other one long term, and you come out and tell everybody, we're not blowing this thing up. We're just sort of, we're rebooting and trying to figure out what the future looks like.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. It is Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. 7-3, the Jays have lost to the Boston Red Sox. We'll take a break and come back and hear from the skipper, John Schneider. It's Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza, and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move